Good evening, Internet, and welcome back to the ARAM Apocalypse. Not exactly ARAM Apocalypse today, but I'm still 8-Bit Ponies. We are taking a little break from Bloodstone, which is our usual Tuesday night fare, and yeah, because we have some sick players. We hope that Bloodstone will be back within the next few weeks. Hopefully next week. We'll see. We've been off for I guess at least a month now, and that sucks. I hate that, but schedules are what schedules are. Illnesses, all that good stuff. They're unavoidable. It's just what it is. Tonight we're bringing something a little different. We're going to play a game, a pen and paper tabletop game called Starfleet Battles. Originated even before I was born. It says like a 1970s game. It was devised by a group in Texas called the Amarillo Design Bureau, and it is a reimagining of what if the world of Star Trek, the original series, the 60s version of Star Trek, was a tabletop battle simulator. It's got a lot of the things that you'll see is very heavily inspired by Star Trek. It's not owned by Paramount or anything like that, but it is it's the what they call the classic tabletop starship battle simulator. I'm really excited to bring this to stream, and I don't know that it'll be a thing that we do often, but Bennett, our longtime friend of the stream, Bennett the Dog, was interested and volunteered to be my guinea pig for what we're calling the Starfleet Battles Academy tonight. We're going to try out this game. We're going to try see what we think about it, and you guys, those of you who are out there, get an opportunity to tune in and watch along as I teach the game to my friend Bennett. Hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to just go ahead and dive right in. I will be trying to explain as much of the game as possible in bite-sized chunks so that Bennett's able to learn it and so that you guys get the gist of the game as well. If you're interested in playing along with us at some point in time, our Discord information is available in the chat. Jump into our Discord. All of the materials that we're going to be using tonight are posted in our Starfleet Battles channel in our Discord. And hit us up. Let us know that you're interested, and we will pull you in to play some games as well. Always happy to share a long-time hobby with new friends. Welcome, Bennett. Happy to have you this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Always,
Honor, as
always.
always.
We're as you can see, we've got we're sitting on the board on the bridge of our starship, looking at the view screen, and there is the map of the game. This game is played in a top-down version, or top-down, kind of like any other strategy game that you play or tactics game that you would play in the 70s and 80s. Our starships are going to be represented by these diagrams that have just popped up onto the screen. My Klingon D5 war cruiser versus Bennett's Federation new light cruiser. And we are going to walk through the step-by-step. This is a turn-based game. It's a lot of resource management, a lot of tactics, a lot of strategy. We're going to walk through it step by step, turn by turn, and give you guys the benefit of learning alongside Bennett. I've been playing this game for probably 30 years or more, but it's been a while. It's been quite a while, actually. I don't know that I've played it actively this decade. So I'll be a little rusty too. We'll be kind of learning some of it together, or I'll be relearning, and we'll kind of just hop right into it and see what there is to see. I'm gonna put away the ships for just a second, and we'll start talking first about. Oh, you know what? I didn't put up something on the stream for our energy allocation. The first step in any game is looking at your ship and determining the energy that your ship generates, and then what you want to put that toward. We'll walk through the energy allocation form, but first, before we do that, I'm going to give you kind of an overview of the first, like the turn-based structure of the game. The game is based by is broken into turns, which are further broken into, each turn is broken into 32 individual, um, I guess, rounds that are known in this game as impulses. Um, Ships can move and act on one or more impulses throughout the game, and there are a number of things that the ships can do on those impulses. But in order to be able to do any of those things, including moving, you have to go through what is known as the energy allocation step. That happens at the beginning of each turn. You allocate the energy that is remaining on your ship to the various ship systems, and that informs what your ships are able to do during that turn. I'm going to bring up, if I can, here, the energy allocation form, and we'll pull, let's see, let's do that here real quick. Bear with me just a second while I get that put on the screen, as that was the one thing that I forgot to pull up. That'll do. That'll do just fine. So now on the screen, I'm going to try to bring it down here so where it's a little more visible. Is that actually readable on the stream? I hope it
Yeah, it
is.
looks pretty good.
Okay, great. Then so the each player for each of their ships. In this game, we're only playing one ship apiece, but it is possible to play multiple ships and have multiple fleets on the board at any given time. As we're learning, we'll keep it pretty simple. We will be working with a much more limited version of the ships that are normally available in the game. We're gonna add things kind of as we go, add different ship systems so that it's not too complicated, too complex right away. This game has literally a 500 plus page rule book that explains literally everything that you could possibly ever want to do in the game in exacting detail. It is a monster. We're cutting that down we're cutting that down by a lot for this first round, for this first session. If this is something that takes off, maybe we get into the full rule set eventually, but it is something that takes a long time and a lot of effort and dedication to really truly fully learn. Not something that I would expect us to do in one evening. But we're going to go ahead and dive into what is known as the energy allocation phase. I'm going to bring up the ships here. We're going to focus on the Federation New Light Cruiser, as this is what Bennett is going to be working with. Let's pull that over just a little bit more so we can see. All right, so the ship diagram that you're looking at on the right side of the screen, the Federation New Light Cruiser, is part of what is known as an SSD, or a ship systems diagram. Each ship in the game is represented by this, and it shows all of the systems that are available on the ship. And it will also serve whenever the ship starts taking damage to determine what kinds of systems are left available after you've taken damage. Bennett, your Federation New Light Cruiser, the full version of the sheet is still on the Discord. You should pull that up and have that available
Yep.
to you, because it'll have a lot of the tables and things that you'll need. I'm not going to expose all of that stuff on the screen during the stream tonight, because it's just too much information. You'll just have to take our word for it that um, we're looking at those things, and that's where some of the information is coming from for the game. But each of these boxes on the Federation New Light Cruiser represents either an individual system or a group of systems. You have your warp engines that are on the bottom left hand and bottom right hand side. Each of those boxes, there are 24 of them, is worth 1 point of power. And so whenever we're beginning our energy allocation, we count up our warp engine power. We have 24 points of warp engine power, and that is we add that to our energy allocation. Next up is our impulse engines. Impulse engines are used for basically mostly powering just ship systems. They can't be used for movement. That doesn't really matter for this first go round. It's just something that we will get into as we get into the more advanced rules. But you also count up your impulse engine power, uh, of which on this ship there are 4. You can see those right in the middle bottom of the ship uh, diagram. Also, you have a number of reactors on your ship. Those are denoted by APR or AWR. They are they have they are these boxes in the middle right hand side of the ship that have the lines drawn through them. Um, we'll get into why there are lines drawn through some of them, and some of the boxes are shaded and things like that at a later date. But those are your auxiliary power reactors or your auxiliary warp reactors, depending on the acronym that is actually used. Those are also worth power for your ship. So grand total for your ship is 32 units of power for Bennett's new light cruiser. Then we start counting through other things on board the ship. Battery power. Batteries are used for essentially their units of power that can be used during play. You have to allocate your warp, impulse, and reactor power at the beginning of each turn, and those are basically static. Once you've allocated them, you can't change them for the most part. But batteries are things that can be used for various things during play, and so that's versatile power that you can keep. Um, the new light cruiser, it's denoted by BTTY here on the top left-hand side, and so there are 2 of those. You can discharge those during energy allocation if you need to, but most of the time you're just going to say 0 power discharge, as you're not using that power as part of your energy allocation. Then we go on to
Really quickly,
yeah,
battery is those 2 on the top left, right?
that's correct. BTTY.
BTTY, right.
That's correct. Yeah, you'll notice I'll be going through and doing these for my war cruiser as well, for my D5 war cruiser here in just a little bit, and there are some differences between the ships. Generally speaking, um, your new light cruiser is marginally more powerful than my cruiser will be, and even more so with the limited rule set that we're using, at least for the first little bit. But on they're on par with each other.
Right.
In the again, Bennett, this is just for your benefit because the rest of the folks can't see this. But in the full version of the SSD that you're looking at, there's what's referred to as the Crawford table or the ship data table. That's at the middle, the central top section that has type, point
Yep.
value, all that stuff. That the point value there plus the point value for yours is 116. The point value for mine, I believe, is 110. And then there's other things that can modify those numbers, like refits and things like that. We'll get into all that stuff later. Um,
Cool.
yeah, I wondered if you were going to make that note there, Olives. It is all for your benefit.
Ha ha ha.
What? Yeah, yeah. Awful dad jokes even here. Also on that ship data table, you'll see your shield cost and your life support cost. That will come into play here as we're getting it back into our energy allocation. So, so now we're starting on line 10 here with life support. We're going to start actually doling out the power that we have accumulated and our ship systems putting our ship systems to power or to use. So life support cost basically just keeps the air and the heat on inside your ship. You have to power life support in every single instance, every single turn. If your ship becomes crippled, it has received enough damage that it has reached the crippled status, then you can stop paying for life support. You go on emergency life support, But for 9 out of 10 turns that you'll be playing a given ship, you're gonna power your life support, and then that is you can see on your ship data table for your size class of 3 ship, that is 1 point of power. So we're gonna put 1 point of power in on your life support.
That's oh yeah, ship data table. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next up is active fire control. Active fire control basically makes it so that your ship is able to lock on to other ships and fire weapons. Also 1 point of power. There are some conditions by which you would not want to, or that you may not power active fire control. You know, if you don't have weapons that are available or you don't have weapons that can fire, you could potentially, go to passive fire control. There are other instances where you might want to do that anyway and not power your active fire control. But in, again, 9 times out of 10, active fire control is going to take 1 point, and it just turns on all your weapons. Then we start going to our ship and powering up our actual weapons themselves, counting them up and powering them. Um, your phasers, denoted on your ship by PH1 or PH2 or PH3. Those are 3 types of phaser weapons that exist on most starships that fight in this game. Um, your your phaser ones, the 1 type offensive phasers, are generally your main guns of your ship, or your primary offensive weapon on board your ship. They cost 1 point of power to charge, um, and your phaser twos are a smaller, I guess, older style phaser that is similar to the phaser one but has less power. It also, unfortunately, is inefficient and takes 1 point of power to charge. And then your phaser threes are a shorter range defensive type phaser used for shooting down things like shuttlecraft or drones, missiles that are coming in after your ship seeking weapons. They can be used to shoot up at other ships as well in a pinch. Those cost a 0.5 point of power apiece. So in this case, you would count up all of the phasers on your ship, and you see that you have 6 phaser ones, 1 through 6, and then 2 phaser threes, number 7 and number 8. So in grand total, your ship's phaser capacitor is full at 7 points of power. Um, so one thing about charging phasers is that if your capacitor does not lose energy unless you use it. So if you put 7 points of power into your capacitor, we're going to start with that. We're going to put 7 points of power into your capacitor, and if for whatever reason during turn 1 you do not fire a phaser, you don't have to charge those again the next turn. The power stays in the capacitor and can be drawn upon on previous turns. The only time that you have to charge them back up is if you use that power, and then you charge it based on how you use it. If you use a phaser 1, that's 1 point that comes away from the capacitor, and you have to put 1 point back in it in order to refill that capacitor. You don't have to fill all of your capacitor doesn't have to be all the way full to use your phasers. If you only had 3 points of power in your phaser capacitors, you could use 3 of your phaser ones during that turn, and but you wouldn't be able to use the other the other 6 phasers because you wouldn't have power for those. So you can use your phaser capacitors until they're empty, put power back into them to refill them at the end of the turn.
Great.
Your heavy weapons. Um, are, before we get into heavy weapons, we'll talk for just a second about how you actually fire your phasers. You're looking at, or we're looking again at the Type 1 offensive phaser table on the left-hand side of your SSD, and the Type 3 defensive phaser on the left-hand side.
Yep.
Those are basically across the top. You know what? It actually makes more sense to just pull this in, so that we can see it. So let me just do that. Bear with me just another second, and I'll pull this together. It's a window. We don't want the window. We want a display. Okay, not that display. We want this one. Okay, so I'm going to pull this over to. All right. So now we're looking at on stream. We're looking at the Federation New Light Cruiser SSD. This is what we've been talking about. The extra ship data table, which is here at the top middle, and now we're looking over the left-hand side at the offensive and defensive phaser tables. So across the top, you have a range category, and that's a range in hexes between your ship and the ship that you're targeting. And then each time you roll or you fire a phaser, you will roll a 6-sided die, and you'll consult the table. So if you're at range 5 and you roll a 4, then that phaser, as it hits, it does 3 points of damage. It's that simple. It's choose a phaser. As long as that phaser bears and can fire, you consult the range table. You roll a die. The die determines, based on the range, how much damage that phaser does when it hits. And there's no rolling to hit on phasers. It's your active fire control provides you with an active lock on to the target, and phasers are if you're within range and you can roll the dice, you can hit. You hit and you do damage. It's that simple. You can see that your type 3 defensive phasers are only good out to range 15. Your type 1 offensive phasers are good out to 75, but you have to roll pretty well in order for them to do damage as you get out out to greater ranges.
So, question about those the defensive phasers. In theory, if I'm within, 15 of you, could I use the type 3s on your main ship?
Absolutely. You can
Okay.
fire, you can fire phasers at anything. You can fire phaser 1s at smaller targets. The only thing that for phasers specifically, the only thing that you have to take into account when firing them is range and then facing. And we'll get into facing once we actually get into the fight.
Great.
So phasers we've talked about, firing phasers, powering phasers. One important thing to mention is each phaser on your ship, of which you have 8, 6 phaser 1s and 2 phaser 3s, can only fire once in any given turn. So no matter how much power you have, phaser number 1, the box that's here in the middle of the screen, or the middle of the ship, that one can only fire one time during any 32 impulses, one turn. So once that one's fired, you can't fire it again until the power allocation is gone, or power allocation has gone through for the next turn, and you put more power into it, or you're drawing from other power still in that capacitor. But in any one given 32 impulse turn, each weapon can only fire one time.
Great.
So then we'll return to energy allocation. Energy allocation, we've put 7 points of power in your phasers. You're good to go for that. We'll go to heavy weapons. Heavy weapons are going to be what is different between each individual races or empires types of ships. The Federation has the ever so famous photon torpedo. Photon torpedoes are direct fire weapons. They are roll to see if you hit, and based on the range to your target, you roll a die. On the photon torpedo table down here, you see range. This is the number that you have to roll based on the range to hit with each individual photon torpedo. So standard photon torpedoes at range 2 is the sweet spot. You can hit on a 1 to 5. Out to range 3 to 4, it's 1 to 4 as a hit, all the way out to range 30, which is a 1 is the only thing that will hit. Regardless of the range, photon torpedoes do 8 points of damage. You hit, it's a flat 8 points of damage. There are different firing modes for photon torpedoes, including proximity fuse and overload, which changes things up a little bit. Proximity fuse makes them longer range, makes it able to hit at longer range, but does less damage. Overloads does more damage based on the additional power that you put into the photon torpedo, but it cuts the range down to maximum of range 8. but it does somewhere between 9 and 16 points of damage based on how much power you put into it. And so it's a variable overload. So that covers that. So it's the same kind of thing with a phaser, though. You roll up within range. You make sure that your weapon bears based on the position of your target and the facing of your ship, and you roll the die for each photon torpedo you fire to see if it hits. If it does hit, it does a flat 8 points of damage.
Okay.
The Klingon ships, on the other hand, have a different heavy weapon called the disruptor bolt. It's a somewhat longer range but lower overall damage weapon. But there's a reason for that. Disruptors they're a little bit easier to hit with. You can see that out to greater ranges they have a better hit number. But as you get further away, it does variable damage. You do 5 for a disruptor at the sweet spot at range 1, and out to 2 at range 23 to 30, or I guess 16 to 30. The reason that disruptors are lower damage and better hit is that disruptors can fire like phasers. They can fire every single turn. You put in your 2 points of power to charge your disruptor, and it can fire on that turn. Photon torpedoes have the distinct disadvantage that it takes 2 consecutive turns of powering them to fire them. So on turn 1, we put in 2 points of power for each photon torpedo. And then on turn 2, we put an additional 2 points of power in for each photon torpedo, but they're not available to fire until turn 2. So it takes 2 consecutive turns of powering them to be able to fire them. So they do more consistent, higher damage, but they do them half as often as disruptors. Make sense?
Yep.
All right. So then for turn 1, we're going to begin charging our photon torpedoes, but we know because it takes 2 turns to charge them, we will not be able to fire them this round. So we're putting in our 8 points of power to start charging them, and then we'll move on. So there are tons of other types of weapons in the Starfleet Battles universe. Each individual race has their own unique ship systems, their own unique weapon types. There are, I think, like 9 or 10 in the standard set. I think it's what we refer to as the Alpha Octant of the galaxy. That includes the Klingons and the Romulans and the Gorn. There are some other races that are not as often mentioned in Star Trek, like the Kzinti and the Lyrans. There's a race called Hydrons. There's the Tholians are present, and then way off on the fringes of the Alpha Octant is another empire called the Interstellar Concordium. Then there are pirates, like Orion pirates, that have their own types of ships. So and each of these different empires have their own flair, their own strategy, their own thing. Some of them are reliant entirely upon seeking weapons. They don't have as many direct fire weapons. Some of them are reliant more upon shuttlecraft and like space fighters. Others involve weird weapon types like the Tholian web, which you can build terrain in space that you can pass through, but other ships can't. So it's a lot of there's a lot to it, which is why this is a 500+ page rulebook. There's just a lot of things that are out there. For tonight, we'll stick with the Klingons and the Federation, which are just direct fire photon versus disruptor, and we'll go from there. So next up, then, on On your ship, you have these boxes that are all the way around your ship or your shields. Everybody knows about shields if you're a Star Trek fan. These are this is the whenever you start taking damage, damage will hit your shields before it hits your ship. But in order for that to happen, you have to put in power to actually charge your shields. This is something you'll put in every single turn. This keeps your shields on. The cost in the ship data table is 1+1 for your ship, Bennett. One
Hmm.
is the minimum shields, which will give you 5 of the boxes all the way around your ship. The additional +1 brings them to full strength, which I think I'm just doing a quick count. It looks like it's what a 28-point front shield for you, 30-point front shield for
Yeah.
you. Yeah,
Wait, you said 5 boxes or 6?
five to start with. So minimum shields is
Okay.
always 5, and then you put the additional 1 point of power in to bring it to full strength all the way around.
Okay. So I'd have to like drop my rear shields or whatever there, because
What do you mean?
am it says, well, there's the shield 1, shield 2, shield 3, shield 4, shield 5, shield
So
6.
that is just your facing. So everything in this game has to do with where your ship is versus where your opponent is. If I'm shooting at you from the left-hand side, I'm either going to hit your shield 6 or your shield 5.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever I'm talking about powering your shields, it's one cost for all 6 shields. So
I see. I see. Okay.
1 point gives you 5 points on each of your shield banks,
Okay.
and then the additional 1 point gives you the rest on all of your shield banks. Sorry, that I did not make that clear.
No,
So
it's fine. Sounds good.
we're going to put 2 points in for to bring your shields fully up.
Yep.
Um, and then we're gonna skip over general and specific reinforcement for now. But suffice it to say, you can put additional power if you have extra power left over, or you expect you're going to be taking significant damage coming up during this turn. You can put specific reinforcement on your shields, which gives you basically temporary HP on your shields for 1 point of power per 1 hit or 1 point of power per 1 point of damage. So if I were to put 5 points of specific reinforcement on my number 1 shield, that would say number 1 shield is temporarily during this turn or until it takes that damage 5 points heavier. So you take damage away from your specific reinforcement before you take it off of your shield. General
Okay.
reinforcement does the same thing, except that it goes all the way around the ship, but it's at 1 point per half point of damage. So you'd have to put 2 points of general reinforcement to have 1 point of damage, but it can come from anywhere around your ship. If you take a hit on your number 4 shield, then and it does 2 points of damage, and you have 4 points of general reinforcement. Those 4 points of general reinforcement convert to 2 points of damage. You take those 2 points of damage on your general reinforcement, and then the general reinforcement is gone.
Okay.
It doesn't then apply to the other shields as well. It's basically
Yeah.
first come, first serve. So we're going to skip over those for the time being. The rest of your power essentially will go into. Actually, we'll allow for specific reinforcement and general reinforcement for this first one because the only thing you really have otherwise to do with your power is movement. So for most size class 4 ships, movement is 1 point per move. Your speed is how many times during the 32 impulses of a turn you're going to move. So if your speed is 20, then at equidistant points through the 32 impulses, you're going to move 20 times. If your speed is 30, then you'll move 30 times in 32 impulses. The chart that I provided in Discord, that is the speed impulse chart. I'll pull that one up real quick. This tells you based on your speed which impulses you will move on. So if you're moving speed 4, you're going to move every 8 impulses for 32 impulses. So you'll move on impulse 8, you'll move on impulse 16, you'll move on impulse 24, and you'll move on impulse 32. Those are the only times that you are able to move during that turn. If you're moving speed 20, then again, it's equally spaced through the turn, but you'll move 20 times over the course of that 32 impulses. Ships are not allowed to move at speed 32. The most that they can ever do is speed 31. There's reasons for that. It has to do with the way the power is allocated. We don't need to get into that right now. Suffice it to say, it is only possible for you to move somewhere between speed 0 and speed 31. There are things in the game that can move up to speed 32, like seeking weapons. Seeking weapons generally will move at speed 32. Some of them are slower, but nothing moves faster than speed 32 in the game. It just means that whenever you're plotting your speed, understand that means that during the 32 impulses that we're calling during the turn, there are specific impulses that your ship will move on based on the number of times, the number of your speed. But it always adds up to whatever your speed number is. That's the number of times you'll move through the turn.
Okay. I'm
For
sorry, I might have missed it. Where do I see my energy count for speed or energy cost?
that is at the bottom of your SSD. So you are in a light cruiser,
Right.
which means you have fractional movement cost. Um, most size class 3 and lower ships are going to have fractional movement costs. Some of them will be 2/3 per hex. Some will be half energy per hex. Some will be a third energy per hex. Most of your heavier ships, like your standard heavy cruiser, which is the size of ship that the Enterprise, the original 60s original series Enterprise is a Constitution class heavy cruiser. It is a 1-for-1. Some heavier ships like battle cruisers and dreadnoughts and battleships have 1.5 or 1 1/3 or even 2 points per hex move. So you just look at your fractional costs here.
Yep.
And you say, if I want to move speed 21, then I'm putting in 14 points of power. That will move me 31 squares, or 30. Sorry, 21 hexes during the course of the turn. So if we go back and
Yep.
look at your energy allocation for turn 1, we've spent 10, 19 points of your 32 units of power, which means we've got 13 left. We could put 13 points of power towards movement, which is going
Which
to
gets
give
me
you
speed 19.
speed 19. So if you're using standard, you can use this standard or fractional, and you can go speed 19. I'm going to suggest for turn 1 that we throttle you back just a little bit, and we're going to put
Great.
in 10 points of power there. And so
Okay.
your speed will be 15. And
Okay.
then we're going to take those other 3 points of power, and we're going to put them on general or on specific reinforcement to your front shield. So that if I take a pot shot at you before the end of the turn, and I will, you have a little bit additional resistance to that damage, the first little bit of damage that I put on you.
Sounds good.
Assuming that you can make sure that it goes on your front shield.
Yeah.
Now, excuse me. So we've put all 32 points of your power on into your systems. You have not yet used any battery power, and you haven't used any of your phaser capacitors. As the turn goes on and you start using things like that, you can come back here and keep track of what you have spent, so that you know for next turn, okay, I used 5 points of my capacitor energy. I need to recharge those for next turn. Same thing with
Right.
batteries. You can use you can here on line 37, you can put power in to recharge your batteries if you have used them over the course of the turn. But we'll get into that again. It's something that you will learn as we get more into the game. So now that we've talked for about a half an hour about how to play the game and to get started on the game, I'm going to flip over to another page here. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to do my own energy allocation on the D5. So I'm going to drop. Go
I
ahead.
hope you realize I'm already like picturing what sort of Excel macros I need to make this more
Yeah.
efficient.
Well, so I'm actually. I wanted to get this going and
Mhm.
actually get playing before Kingdom Come. But I am actually working on a web application that I plan to do all of this for us. It is going to
Perfect.
combine everything that needed to play the game into a single one-stop shop. So
Great.
that's coming, but it's not here yet. All right, so I'm on another tab here. I'm going to do mine for the D5. I'm going to remove all of this information, and I'm going to count up. So I've got 24 points of warp power as well. 2 warp engines at 12 boxes apiece. I've got I've got 5 impulse, 2 banks of 2, and then 1 emergency impulse here. And then I have what? 2 APR. So that's my 2 reactor, which gives me a grand total of 31. So I'm 1 point behind you on power. Um, I have 3 batteries, and I'm not using any of those. So my 3 batteries are, there's one in the rear hull section at the top left-hand side, and then there's 2 in the middle of the boom. You guys can see those as well. Those 3 battery boxes.
Yep.
And then, okay, so then life support is going to be 1 for me, and then shield cost is going to be 2. Sorry, that's not right. That's not shields. I'll put 2 for shields. My phaser capacitors. So I have 2 phaser 1s and 2 phaser 2s. So that's 4 points. And then I have 4 phaser 3s. So that's going to be 6 points total in my capacitors. My heavy weapons are 4 disruptors, A, B, C, and D, and those take 2 points of power each. Now, as we mentioned before, the difference between those is that I can fire them this turn, uh, even though you cannot fire your photon torpedoes because they're not charged. And then that is all that I have to power. So I don't need the 10 on movement, but I will match your speed. I will go ahead and put 10 into movement as well, which means I have spent a total of 26, 28 points, which means I also have 3 points of power for specific reinforcement. So I have fewer offensive weapons than you do. My offensive weapons are not as good as yours are, but they fire more often. My
Yep.
disruptors can fire more often than your photon torpedoes. I have fewer phasers, and 2 of my phasers are phaser 2s, which you can see that the type 2 phaser is not as good as the phaser 1. But I also have 4 of the defensive phasers as opposed to the 2 that you have. But so that's that. So we will. I'll put these things away. Energy allocation is complete. We are both moving at. You know what? No, I'm going to throw caution to the wind, and I'm going to use. I'm going to go to. I'm going to go speed 18. I'm going to put 12 points of power into my movement. I'm the sneaky Klingon bastard. I'm going to move a little bit faster than you are. I'm going to move at speed 18 just so we can experience the differences between our two movements. And then I'll only have 1 point of specific reinforcement on my shield. So I have
Great.
spent all 31 points of my power, and we're good to go. All right, so we'll refer back to the energy allocation as we need to over the course of the turn, but most of what is going to happen going forward is going to happen on the board. So, but before we get to that, I'm going to show the speed impulse chart, which I have a spreadsheet copy of this as well. I'm going to be lighting myself up as as speed 18, and I'm going to light you up as speed 15. And then as we go through each impulse, oop, that's too far, too much. Those are just a little bit too dark, so we're going to back those off a little bit. Just make it easier for me to see these as I'm going through the allocation or going through
Do you have the sharing link you could drop in the Discord for that,
well,
if you don't mind?
yeah, but I mean it's also in the Discord. The only
Oh,
difference
is it?
is, yeah, the
Oh,
Discord
yeah.
has it here. The only difference is I
Great.
put it in a spreadsheet so that I can manipulate it as I need to for
Great.
running the game.
I missed that one.
Yeah, but it's
All right.
it's exactly the same thing. So then, as we go through the turn, we'll go impulse by impulse, starting at impulse 1, and then
Mhm.
I'll call, on impulse 1, I'll call, nobody moves, obviously. We'll check to see if anybody wants to perform any other actions, like using ship systems or firing weapons. And then we'll move on to the next impulse. And we just repeat that until the turn ends or until somebody isn't there anymore.
Great. Let's do it.
All right. So generally speaking, we would call at this point in time, after energy allocation is completed by both parties, whoever is running uh, the the speed chart would call for speeds, which we have already done. We don't need to do that now. I'm going to put away our ships for the time being, just so we can focus on the movement. And then, so I know, because I did your energy allocation, that you are moving speed 15, and
Mhm.
I am moving speed 18. So I'm just putting those up to where everybody can see them. You see the speeds. The red guy is moving speed 18. Um, the blue guy is moving speed 15. So I will call then the first impulse. Only 32s will move, so that is neither of us. I,
Yep.
uh, it is usually, whoever's running the speeds will give a little bit of a pause between movement and moving on to the next impulse, if there's anything else that others might want to do, just to give you an opportunity to call actions that you want to perform.
Yeah.
So in this case,
Uh,
we'll move on to impulse number 2, in which 18s move. So that would be me. And now I have to find what I did with my. There we are. So I'm going to move. So each time that you move, um, you move in whichever direction you are currently facing. Um, there is an alternate movement called a side slip, where you can move to one of the two forward locations. Like, I'm gonna zoom in on my guy for a second, just so I can outline this a little bit better. So my guy is moving at speed 18, and I'm currently facing this direction. So I would move here. So my speed is called. I move forward 1. I could instead either do a side slip right or a side slip left, which does not change my facing, but allows me to a little bit of additional variety in my movement. The only difference there, or the only thing to keep in mind, is that you cannot side slip twice in a row. So once you slide slip, you have to move before you can side slip again. Um,
is there any energy cost to like rotating your ship or movement cost?
so that's the next thing that I was going to bring up, is your turning radius. So each ship, based on its size and its maneuverability, has an individual turning radius. I'm going to bring up the Klingon D5 here to show. Here in the middle of the page, underneath your ship data table, is your turn mode, and this will show you the number of spaces that you have to move in a forward direction before you can make a turn move. So based on your speed. So I am moving currently at speed 18, which means I have to move 4 spaces in a given direction before I can change direction. So let's just for the sake of argument, I'm going to go back to the map, and we'll see what that would look like. So I'm going to go back here to the beginning. I'm going to say I'm moving speed 18, and I'm planning on turning. I need to turn to my right to head down further to this side of the map, the lower side of the map. So, but before I can do that, I have to satisfy my turn mode. So I have not moved at all, so I need to move 4 times. So over the course of the next 6 or 8 impulses, I go 1, 2, 3, and I'll side slip to make it 4. I'm still facing towards the direction that I started, but now I have satisfied my turn mode. On my next turn, I can then turn and then move in the direction that I turned. Did you catch that? So I started off moving one direction, and I can't
Yeah.
grab the thing. Where is it? There it is. Started off moving one direction. I moved 4 times in any configuration that is legal moves, but because I have a turn mode of 4 as a speed 18 Klingon warcruiser, I move 4 times, and then my next move can be a turn move. The turn move says turn the direction that you want to turn, which is 60 degrees in either to the left or right. So I can turn left, or I could have turned right. Just trying to grab the thing, and then move in that direction.
Yep. Sounds good.
Now you can't turn more than 60 degrees at any given turn move. Now there is another rule that allows you to do that. It's risky. It requires power, but we'll get to that at a later time. But yeah, for now, so we'll go and we'll look at the Federation ship. I think Federation ships, generally speaking, have a worse turn mode than Klingon ships.
Yeah.
Yours
It's
is
also 4 for
yours
me.
is C. Yeah, so you're moving speed 15, and yours is also 4. So you'll have to move 4 spaces or 4 hexes in a given direction before you can make a turn move. All right. So we'll spend this turn just learning how to turn, learning how to move, learning how to flow with the with the turns, or with the impulses. So we'll go back to impulse 2, where the Klingon has just moved for the first time, and then we will move on to impulse 3. Unless, Bennett, you want to do something crazy.
No, I think I'm good.
All right. So then we'll move on to impulse 3, in which 15s move.
Okay. Straight ahead.
There you go. Thrilling. Absolutely
Yeah.
thrilling. Impulse 4, 18s move. So the Klingon comes on. Impulse 5, the 15 moves.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something bold and move forward
All
again.
right. I love it. Impulse 6, the 18 moves. Impulse 7, the 15 moves.
Straight ahead.
Impulse 8, the 18 moves. Impulse 9, we both move.
Okay. Gonna side slip.
Great. So you have now moved 4 times total, which means you have satisfied your turn mode. I've moved 5 times in the same direction, which means that I have satisfied my turn mode. And now we continue on.
Okay.
So
Is there a specific order we go in? So, like, you're going faster than me. Does that mean that you make your move first?
it depends on a lot of things. Generally speaking, yes. If I'm moving faster than you, then I would make the move before you.
Okay.
But there are rules around ships that are specifically more nimble than others, getting to wait and see where the other, where a similar ship moving at the same time moves. So more nimble ships move later.
Okay.
Um,
And then also, if I wanted to turn, do I turn now or do I wait
you
until?
wait until your next move, and
Okay,
you turn
great,
as part of your move. That's correct.
great.
All right, so we just completed Impulse 9. Impulse 10, nobody moves. No, neither of us move. Impulse 11, we both move.
Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna turn.
Okay. So then, yeah, you turn in your space, and then you move correct.
Yeah,
That's
there's
perfect.
one.
All right. So now is a good time for us to start talking about. We're still a pretty good ways away from each other, so we're not in a lot of danger of immediately getting into a fight. But we're about 32 hexes away from each other, which means we're starting to get close to where we're going to be in heavy weapons range. Not great heavy weapons range, but heavy weapons range just the same. So it's a good time now to start looking at our firing arcs on our weapons. So let's do that real quick. I'm going to pull up the light cruiser again, the new light cruiser. one more time. And each of your weapons, your photon torpedoes, your phasers, all of them will have a 2-character or more um, uh, facing or firing arc denotation on them after the weapon itself. Photons have an FA, which is forward arc. Phaser ones have these phaser ones have a forward half. You have these phaser threes and these phaser ones which are left side or LS, and these phasers that are right side are RS, and those are explained down here at the bottom of your ship systems diagram. FA is left forward and right forward, so you would take it um, down the hex to your number 6 shield and down the hex toward your number 2 shield and anything in between. So the entire forward arc of your ship. So let me get on the map again for a second and zoom in, and where'd you go? Uh-oh, I can't find you.
Let's see.
Oh, I'm cut off. That's the problem. There we go. Okay, it's not as close as I would have liked, so I'm gonna go back up to mine
Sounds
instead.
good.
I'll have to fix the way that everything crops on the program. But okay, so let's say for instance that my ship was the one using the forward arc, and I don't have any forward arc weapons, but it doesn't really matter. So forward arc would effectively mean, let me get my ruler here, down this row of hexes, around to this row of hexes. So if the target ship was between these rows of hexes in the arc,
Including those rows?
including those rows,
Yeah.
that's correct, then that weapon would be able to fire. Right front would be center line down to the right side. Left front would be center line down to the left row of hexes. Left side and right side are literally center line to the rear center line. So the entire left side of the ship, right side of the ship. Then forward half is you take the center line of your ship sits on, and everything in front of it. So your 2 phaser ones in the front, your number 1 and number 2. As long as I am in front of this plane that your ship sits on, then I'm within the arc of that. So just the line, the center line of the hex that you're sitting on. Forward half and rear half. Klingons have some strange firing arcs, and you should know about that. Some of mine are FX. FX includes left, front, and right, which is effectively the reverse of the forward arc, or I guess the inverse of the forward arc. It would be this line all the way around the ship to this line. So yours is forward arc, mine is forward arc extended, which would be here. So here to here, as opposed to your forward arc, which is here to here. And then
Yep.
Klingon ships also have, see on the phaser 2s on the wings, have right front, right, and left rear. So right front and right, but then also left rear. So they've got some weird firing arcs because they're on the wings of the ship. Basically, they have a
By weird, you mean better.
they do. The Klingons are notorious for having
Yeah. Really
much
good
better,
crossfire.
crossfire, much better firing arcs than
Firing arcs.
most everyone else around them. There are some weapons that are considered 360. Those will be
Okay.
listed on the ship as well. My phaser 3s are left and left rear and right rear, so they don't fire to the front at all. I
Mhm.
I can't, outside of the arc to the right or to the left, and then the rear, they don't fire to the front. Like, and directly in front of my ship, they don't fire. One thing that is a special rule that you should see, you can see here on the ship, is it calls out directly. The forward phasers can fire into the row of hexes directly extending behind the ship. So even
Okay.
though these are FX, which does not include behind the ship, it still fires directly, the row of hexes directly behind the ship.
And that's just you?
Just Klingons. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Um, okay, so then firing arcs are covered, at least for the most part. We'll move on and continue our turn. I should probably occasionally, whenever I stop to talk like that, I should update where we are in the turn, the impulse turn. So I'm gonna type that
I
in.
think that was 10.
We just completed whichever one was the one where we didn't move, which was in fact 10. So impulse 1, 10. Okay. So
Our 5th
then
move.
on impulse 11, we both will move.
Okay.
And let me back out so we can see you again. Yeah. All right.
And
So,
a side slip.
right. Okay, good. So you came out of your turn and you side slipped. And so now you are in. I'm just going to do a quick range calculation again, which is 31 hexes. Okay. So I'm bearing down on you.
Mhm.
Um, next, shoot, I just lost my energy allocation. Hang on a second. Or I'm not energy allocation. My, there we go. The turn counter. Okay. All right. So then impulse 12, nobody moves. Impulse 13, we both move.
Okay.
Oh. Impulse 14, nobody moves. Impulse 15, we both move.
Another side slip.
Okay. Stay in.
And that's my 4th. So I have another turn.
Correct. You can turn. Yeah.
So if say I keep I can like bank that up, right? I don't have to turn now.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
The only time that you reset that is if you actually perform a turn.
Great.
Yeah. All right. So then we go to half turn, which is impulse 16, and 18's move, which is just me.
Mhm.
And I'm going to look at rangefinder again. And you're at 28 hexes from me now. All right.
Yeah.
So we've gone through half of a full turn. We're at 16 impulses. So we're going to continue on. Impulse 17, nobody moves. Impulse 18, we both move.
Okay.
Impulse 19, nobody moves. Impulse 20, we both move.
Okay.
All right, you're looking good there. Impulse 21, nobody moves. Impulse 22, we both move. Impulse 23, nobody moves. Impulse 24, we both move.
Oh damn it. I don't remember if I just side slipped or not. I don't think I did, but
Whenever I create the application to do this, whenever you do a turn or you do a side slip, it'll drop a tile on the map to show you your last point of slip or turn.
okay. That's
We'll say that you didn't with your last move. So if you want to side slip this turn, you can, or this move.
okay. I didn't. Okay, just check the replay.
Okay, cool.
I want to make sure I'm not cheating. All right, then I will side slip.
Okay, so this is impulse 24.
Mhm.
which is a decision point from a tactics and a strategy standpoint. Um, the reason for that is that weapons can fire over. So I mentioned before that weapons can't fire twice in a turn, but they
Mhm.
can fire over the boundary of 2 turns. So once we have reached impulse 32, once we recharge weapons, it is possible for us to fire on impulse 1, even if we don't move. There is a
Okay.
caveat to that no weapon can fire twice within 8 impulses. So if you
Okay.
fire on impulse 32, that weapon can't fire again until at least impulse 8, even though it's over a turn boundary. So the reason that impulse 24 is a decision point is that there are only 8 more impulses of this turn. If we want to fire and still have the ability to fire on impulse 1 of the next turn, it has to be now.
Okay.
And uh, I'm looking at my tables here, and I don't know if that's gonna work out for me.
That was the plan.
Yeah. So I'm looking at 26, which does not put me in a very good range category. We're gonna not fire on impulse 24.
Okay.
So we're gonna move on to impulse 25, in which I move.
Mhm.
Impulse 26, 15's move.
Okay. Um, can I move then turn, or do I have to turn then move?
Turn and then move. It's
Oh,
always turn first.
uh, that's annoying. Um, how much does that really change? Nothing. I don't think. Okay, we'll do
Awesome.
that.
The Federation Pig Dog has turned to face us. We will have battle. We will have battle this day.
Ah, well, you could wait until I get my torpedoes, but
It is a good day to die. All right, that was impulse 26 that you moved. So we're going to move on to 27, and I will move, which brings me to range to target 23, which is still not good. Not good at all. So we're going to not fire on impulse 27. Impulse 28, you move.
um, side slip.
Okay. So you're maintaining range for another round.
Just waiting for those
23.
torpedoes.
I need more power.
Yeah.
Impulse 29, I move, which will bring me into range 22.
Mhm.
Um, and that is probably the best range category that I'm going to get this turn. So I am going to, on impulse 29, I'm going to fire. I'm going to
Okay.
fire my disruptors once again. I'm going to pull up the ships. My disruptors are forward half and right and forward half and left. So you are firmly in my forward half. So
Yeah.
all 4 of my disruptors will bear. So I'm going to fire all 4 disruptors. The reason for this is that I lose them at the end of the turn regardless.
Hmm.
The difference between another difference between photon torpedoes and disruptors is that disruptors cannot be held if they are not fired. Disruptors have to fire before the end of the turn. So
And this is impulse 28, right?
this is impulse 29. I'm gonna
29.
I'm gonna
Okay.
pop that up on the screen if
So
I
you
can
don't
find.
get to fire those until impulse 5 of next go.
Correct. Yeah. Earliest at impulse 5.
And then during energy allocation, I did specific reinforcement to my front shields.
Correct.
If I do, does it? I assume if I want those to still be reinforced, I have to do that again next turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things like reinforcement are use it or lose it.
Yep.
So I'm setting this up to impulse 29. and I'm going to fire. So I'm going to open up my dice, and for each of my disruptors, I roll a d6. I am firing on um, uh, I'm firing on my hit standard line of my section here. I'm gonna pull this up so you can see it.
Yep.
Um, and so that means I roll a 1 to 3 is a hit. On a roll of 4 to 6, it's a miss. So I'm gonna roll, and it'll show up in the chat. So d6 of disruptor A is a hit.
Okay.
Disruptor B is a miss. Disruptor C is a hit. Disruptor D is a miss. All right.
Nice.
So one thing that is important to note is that whenever you are going to fire, before you roll any dice, it is important that you declare what you're going to fire. You have to declare
Okay.
everything before you roll the first die. You can't just say I'm going to fire, then I'm going to fire again. You're fire the next weapon. I'm going to fire the next
Yeah.
weapon, next weapon. So I just said I was going to fire 4 disruptors. I've rolled 4 disruptors. I cannot fire anything else for this impulse. So I hit you with 2. I consult my damage chart. Between 16 and 22, my standard disruptor does 2 points on a hit. So I did 4 points of damage to you, which
Okay.
means I got your 3 points of reinforcement,
How do we
and
determine what shield it hits?
it depends on your facing
Okay.
of me. So looking. So again, I'll have to, because the way that the map program is working right now, I'm gonna have to roll up on my ship to show this. But
That's fine.
um, so looking, let me get the. So looking at your ship, so the 6 points of the hex that you're facing, or that you're in, determines the facing of your shield. So if you were to fire at me, you being in this in between this line and this line, you would shoot at my front shield. Yeah. If you draw a line directly to my ship from yours,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
between those lines. If it was between these two lines, it would be on my number 6 shield. If it was between these two lines, it'd be on my number 5 shield and all the way around the ship.
Great.
So part of the game is learning how to maneuver yourself to where you're taking damage on strong shields and not on weak shields, and or eventually no shield, missing shields.
Missing. Yeah. Great.
All right. So then I did 4 points of damage to you, as we determined you had 3 points of specific reinforcement on that front shield.
Mhm.
And that means I do 1 point of damage to your actual shield. So I'm going to put 1 point of damage on your actual front shield, and that damage stays there. Now, again, advanced rules, there are ways to repair your shields during combat, but that shield is now permanently damaged by 1. No matter how much
So
power you put into it,
okay.
it permanently has that 1 point of damage.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
All right. So that takes care of our first firing solution. I have fired upon the Federation. We're going to lose the ships. We're going to lose the ships. Thank you. And we're going to move on. So there's also there's a specific mention in the rules that warns against what is referred to as Me Too firing. Whenever we get into like actual competitive battles, we have things like phases that in between each impulse, where phase A, movement happens. We all do movement. Phase B, ship systems can interact. You declare, in secret, I want to do these things, and then when we
Mhm.
say, okay, does anybody have anything for B? We reveal we have something for B. I do something for B, you don't, or whatever it is. We both do
Yep.
things for B. We go to C, which is firing solutions, and we do the same thing. Are you going to fire? Put it in secret. We reveal. If I fired and you didn't, you can't then say, okay, well, I'm going to fire too. You have to declare
Yeah.
it. before anybody rolls any dice. Um,
Great.
all right, so I'm gonna step off camera for just a second. I will be right back. Putting my little girl to bed, or giving my little girl a hug before she goes to bed, and then we'll come up and finish this turn. Be right back.
All right, guys. I'm gonna crush him. I have a strategy here. He's going down. Now that he shot off his heavies, I'm full steam ahead, bum rushing him.
Okay, I have returned. Everybody still there?
Yep.
All right, cool. We good to continue? Just completed impulse 29, so we'll move on to impulse 30, in which 15s move.
Great. Side slip.
Right. So if I wanted to now declare that I'm firing again, I could. I could say, now I want to fire phasers.
Okay.
I don't want to do that because I know that at range, at this range, my phasers are almost useless. It's basically throwing power away. So I'm not doing that. But it is possible for you to say, okay, on impulse 29, I'm firing my disruptors. On impulse 30, I'm firing 2 phasers. Impulse 31, I'm firing another 2 phasers. There are reasons that you may consider from a tactical standpoint, from a strategic standpoint. There are reasons that you might want to do that. Once we get into actual damage allocation, you'll see kind of why. But it is possible for you to fire multiple different types of weapons on different impulses. It's not all it's not a fire everything or fire nothing kind of situation. Make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
All right. Then impulse
See,
31.
Olives likes my plan.
did you reveal your master plan while I was off?
I
Okay,
did.
great. Then on impulse 31, 18s move, and on impulse 32, everyone moves. And that is the last move of the turn. I'm going to look at range again to see that you are within 18 hexes of me now. I'm checking that against my tables to see if there's anything that I can fire at range 18 that it was better than range 20, and the answer is no. So we're going to continue on. Okay, so
Yep.
that ends the turn. At this point in time, we go back to energy allocation, and we use the turn 2 line. Any power that you used in specific reinforcement, or things that don't carry over to the next turn, is effectively lost. You generate and you start over. So Bennett, I'm going to let you do your energy allocation this turn.
Right.
I'm going to put mine up on screen so that everybody can see what I'm doing, and then we'll look at yours after we're done with allocation. So one thing that will be different for you this turn is that since you didn't fire any of your phasers and I didn't fire any of my phasers, you don't have to put any extra power into your capacitors. The 7 points that you put in stays there. So, and the 6
Okay.
points that I put in stays there. So those weapons are considered held until they're fired.
Do I have to recharge or reactivate my shields?
Yes, yeah, that's
Right.
something you do every turn. And it's not so much activate. Oh, I guess it is activating them, but it's something that it's like a maintenance cost.
Yeah.
And all right, so I have to make a decision here. Like, do I want to?
Wait. Oh. Yeah, that's where that went. 12.
Hmm.
Um, okay, that gets me there. My thinking. Maybe.
You think you're ready?
Uh, yeah, that looks good.
Okay, great. Then we'll take a look at yours, and then we'll look at mine again. So you are putting your 2 points of power into your heavy weapons, which is good. That means on impulse 1, these are considered charged with 4 points of power apiece, which means that they can fire. That is good.
hmm
You didn't put any power into phasers. That's correct. You're putting power into specific reinforcement and staying at the same speed, which is exactly what I did. I put more power into specific reinforcement because I don't have to put the extra power into what did I lose a point of power somewhere? Maybe I didn't spend all my power last turn, or maybe I did, and I'm just not smart. 2 is 10, 19, 31. Yeah, I had an extra point of power last turn that I just didn't use. Cool, because I don't do math.
Nah, that's why I put sums into my thing.
All right, so then wait, no, I'm only 6 points of power different. I'm not stupid. I mean, I am stupid, but not for the reasons that I thought I was. I just moved my 6 points of power from phaser capacitors into my specific reinforcement, and I'm good to go. So I had 1 point of specific reinforcement last turn. That goes away because it didn't get used. This turn I have 7 points of specific on my front shield, and that's it. So then we declare our speeds. You're
Yep.
still moving 15.
15.
I'm still moving 18, so nothing changes there. We go back to the speed impulse chart, and we continue on. Impulse 1, as ever, nobody moves. Impulse
hmm
2, let me drop the chart. Impulse 2, 18s only. Let's see here. Go
Hmm.
this way.
Is there a way for me to hide my ruler from you?
Yes. You can do if you click on the measure there in the
Uh-huh.
pop-up that comes up, there's a broadcast to others that you can click
Hide
off.
from others.
Yeah,
Great.
I will do the same. I mean, you'll still be able to see it on the stream, but you won't be able to
Oh,
see
I
it.
think you can still see mine.
Oh, I can. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Oh, because you're running the game. That makes sense.
interesting.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
okay. So we're range 18 from each other now.
Yep.
Um, I just moved with a side slip, and
Okay.
we go on to impulse 3, in which you move. All right.
Full speed ahead.
Impulse 4, the Klingon moves. Impulse 5, the Fed moves. Range to target is 15, which is a better range category for me.
And for me.
Yep. And because it's impulse 5, 8 impulses have elapsed. I am now
hmm
able to fire my disruptors again.
Yep.
Looking at okay. Okay. Impulse
So
6.
hold on, really quickly.
Yeah.
FA for me would be what? Just straight ahead
You're so
for aiming arc
down your
for
number
my.
2 line to your number 6 line. So the yeah,
So from
that one
here to here
all the way over
or
to
to
there.
here.
Correct. So
Oh.
I'm
Oh,
in
okay.
I'm inside your FA for sure.
Great.
And yeah, okay. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So on impulse 6, the Klingon moves. Klingon is going to. I moved forward last time. I'm going to side slip again. Impulse 7, the Fed moves.
Yep.
Impulse 8, the Klingon moves. And I'm looking at my decision point here again. We are at 13.
Okay.
Yep. 13. Okay. Then that's impulse 8. On impulse 9, the Fed and the Klingon move. I'm moving fastest, so I will move first. I'm going
Okay.
to go straight ahead.
No. Okay. I will also go straight ahead.
All right.
What's our distance? 11.
11.
Okay. I'll hold.
Impulse 10, nobody moves. Impulse 11, we both move. Again, I go first, so I'm going to go straight ahead. 50 feet is pretty close. Is that what it's saying? It's 50,
Pretty close.
50 feet? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Now we're 9.
at range 9.
Okay.
Um,
No actions for me.
let me think. I am. No, screw it. Um, I'm good. We're gonna stay the course. Impulse 12, nobody moves. Impulse 13, both of us move.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in because we're actually close enough to the point now that we
Yeah,
can.
I'm zoomed in too.
There we go. Zoom in on the stream. All right, so I am going to turn to face you and come straight in.
I should have shot last turn. Damn it.
Dadbeard,
What's
welcome,
up,
buddy.
Dadbeard?
I've got too many things going on. I don't have the chat up. There we go. There it is. I got it up now. All right. Did you move in?
Still. I'm thinking.
Okay.
I am gonna. I'm gonna turn.
All right. Head to head. You got to after you did the turn, so you got to move forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I want to move. What the hell?
Well, so on a turn, you can't turn and slip. It's a turn, and you
Oh,
have to
okay.
go forward. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
And then
Range 7.
range 7.
Yeah. Range is 7.
All right.
Here it comes.
I'm let loose.
You gonna fire?
Let's see. I have 4 photon torpedoes I'm gonna launch.
All right. Great.
And then let's see.
So I'm gonna pull up the ships so we can see what we're talking about here. I still can't do it on that one. I got to do it here. There we
And
go.
then I have a. So my right side, I think, can hit you, right?
Right side can, yes.
Yeah.
Anything on your
Okay. Then I
left
have a.
side cannot.
What? That's 7 hexes. That's 2 phaser 1s. I'm also gonna shoot.
Okay.
Now, what's my phaser 3 looking like? I'll hold on the phaser 3.
Okay. So you do have 4 phaser ones that will bear. Are you just firing the
Oh,
2?
I do.
You've got
Oh yeah, the front
the
ones
front
too.
2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're shooting those as well.
All right. So 4 photon torpedoes and 4 phaser
Yep.
ones.
Yeah.
All right.
So the photon torpedoes are D6.
Yeah. Everybody's a D6. So we'll roll, and at a range of 7, you're at what, a
I
1 to
am at
4,
a
1 to
1 to
3.
4, 1 to 3, 1 to 3. Yeah.
Okay, great. So I am not firing. I'm
Okay.
I'm just taking this one.
Right.
This is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt a lot.
That's one hit.
That is a hit.
Oh, well. I need to type 1, not ID6.
So if
Okay.
you click on the dice on the far left hand side, it'll bring up a dice dialog
Oh,
where you can just click
perfect.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 1 hit, 1 miss
Right.
for the photon torpedoes.
Second
2
miss.
misses,
Oh, 2
2
hits.
hits.
All right. So 2
Okay.
hits. That'll be 16 points of damage on my front shield. That hurts.
Yeah. And then my phasers, I am rolling 4 of them,
Right. And you're
and we are at 8.
yes, you're in a
So,
6 to 8 range table. So
yeah, anything but a 6 will deal damage. Looks like. Yeah, okay, so that's 1 damage.
okay.
That's a miss. That's what's that?
3.
Yeah, that's 3 damage.
Okay.
And then that is
Also 3.
also 3. Yeah.
So it's 20,
So
23 points of damage total.
yep.
All right. So you rock my front shield with 23 points of damage. I will remind everyone that I spent 7 points of specific reinforcement on my front shield. That still means that I get 16 points of actual shield damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
That's phasers 1, 2, 5, and 6 fired.
Yes. So you can keep track of that wherever you need to, scratch paper or whatever you want to do.
Yep.
Generally speaking, whenever you're doing single ship combats like this, it's not that difficult to remember what you fired and what you haven't. But it's up to you how you want to manage it.
Great.
And then that is all 4 of your photon torpedoes that are discharged, and you've
Yep.
fired 4 points of capacitor energy from your phasers.
Yep.
All right, great. So the Klingon takes 16 points of damage to the front shield. The shield holds. I was worried about that. I was very worried about that. I'm gonna be honest. Just
If I got the other 2 torpedoes to hit, that might have
yeah, that would have
broken
been
that open.
that could have. All right. So then we move on. So that was
Yep.
impulse 13. We moved to impulse 14. Nobody moves. Impulse 15. We both move, and that is
Right.
going to be a side slip for me, dog.
Same here.
Oh yes, I love it. All right. Impulse 16, mid-turn.
Question really quick on the turns. Does
Uh-huh.
the move after you turn count as a move towards turn reset?
No,
Okay.
it does not.
Okay.
It's considered part of the turn. So everything
Great.
to satisfy happens after the turn. So you're
Okay.
you're at a +1 right now.
Yep.
All right.
Just
Um, that means that we're on impulse 16 and only 18s move. So I'm going to go forward. That puts me at range 4. It's a 1 to 4 on a hit.
also theoretically, if I put 0 energy towards movement, I can move at a 0 speed, right?
Correct. It just means you won't
Okay.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just making sure that that's also allowed.
Yeah. So on that note, there is no limit to the amount of that you can the amount of points that you can decelerate between turns. There is a limit to how much you can accelerate between turns.
Okay.
So if you go down to 0, I think it's 10 speed. I think you can only accelerate by 10 or double, whichever is best.
Bigger.
Yeah.
And that's excluding turn 1. You can start at whatever you
Yeah,
want to throw
yeah,
your energy into. Okay. Great.
correct. But yeah, between turns, yeah. So if I was since I'm at 18 now, I could accelerate up to 31 because it's double. But
Mhm.
if I was at 6, the most that I could accelerate up to would be 16 because on the next turn, because it's 10 or double, whichever is better.
Yep.
All right, so I'm at range 4. Um, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold.
Okay, let's see. Can my left side hit you
Yes,
here? It
yes,
can.
absolutely.
Okay.
Every phaser that you have left on the ship will bear to me right now.
So I have 2 phaser 3s. We're at range 4?
Correct.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna greet it. We're gonna wait.
You gonna wait? All right, let's greed.
Mhm.
Impulse 17. Nobody moves. Impulse 18. We both move.
Okay.
So I'm
You
moving
first.
fastest, so I go first. I am going to come charging straight on in.
Well, oh,
Oh,
that's
too
too
far.
far. There we go.
All right. This is my firing point. I'm firing now.
Yep.
All right.
As am I.
All right. So I'm gonna update our impulse location. So we are imp 2.17, 18. Sorry.
Yep.
And all right. So I'm firing everything that will bear, which is 4 disruptors, 2 phaser 1s, 2 phaser 2s. You're firing what?
2 what? 2 phaser 1s and 2 phaser 3s.
Fantastic.
At range, what range are we?
Range 2.
Range 2. Perfect.
All right. So all firing happens before any damage is resolved. So we can go
Yep.
ahead and fire. If you wanted to do the honors.
Sure. So my phaser 1s, start it out. That is gonna be 6 damage.
Oh no.
Wow, you're gonna give as well as you get, I think. And at a 3, that is gonna be 5 damage.
Okay.
And then my phaser 2s, or phaser 3s, sorry.
Yep. This is gonna hurt.
Not D4s. At a 5, that's 2 damage.
All right. So I'm sitting at 13 damage right now.
At a 2, that is 4.
So I'm sitting at 17 damage.
Uh-huh.
All right. So that is going to knock down my front shield, and so when this happens, we resolve internal damage. We'll count it
Okay.
up first, but I've got 14 points left on my front shield, which means of your 17, 3 pass the shield and go in.
Right.
So I'm going to take 3 points of damage internally. Before we do that, I'm going to fire back.
Great.
And so my 4 disruptors rolled at range 2 are a 1 to 5. So
Let's get some big rolls here.
that is
Okay. 1
3
miss.
hits. Yeah. So it's 12 points of damage from disruptors.
Okay. I
And
have 4 reinforcements on my front shield.
right. So you'll take 8 points. We've got 8 points on you right now, which means I may
Yep.
not go in. I may not actually crack your shield here.
That would be great.
But I have 2 phaser 1s and 2 phaser 2s left to fire. So let's hope for some low rolls here. So total 12, but 9 on the shield because you said 3 or you had 6.
4.
Oh, you had
I
4.
have
Okay.
4 points in, so that's gonna be 8 on the shield.
All right. So 8 on the shield right now. That's a 5 on the phaser 1, so that is 12 on the shield right now. That is a 4, not great rolls. That is 16 on the shield right now. And my 2 phaser 2s are a 2 and a 3. That's better. But it's still only 8 more. So what, 24 total on the front shield?
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not gonna go in.
We hold.
Yep. So I'll do the 24 points on your front shield here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the other 12. So I did 24 total. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay. So you have 5 points remaining on your front shield. I take 3 internals. So then the way that we do internals is that we bring up the damage chart.
Real quickly, the shield damage is not updating on stream on my
Oh,
cruiser.
no, you're right. It didn't. Well, I don't know why. Let's see if I can pop that out. What's happening? What is something to do with Photoshop. Let me bear with me just a second. Yeah, I'm working on it. Let's see. There it goes. I popped it out and then popping it, or it got popped back in somehow. So I need to get rid of the main Photoshop window. There we go. You can see that on Shield now, or on screen
Yep.
now, right? Okay. So now we have to bring up the damage allocation chart, which is another chart that we roll on. And for each internal hit that you do, you roll on this chart. So I'll pop that up. It is now on the screen. So
Yep.
for each hit that goes in, you roll 2d6, and we'll count up the, and we'll resolve the hit, each individual hit in order. Anything that is underlined only gets hit once per salvo.
Huh.
So like the bridge, drone, phaser, right warp engine on column A, and left warp engine, phaser, torpedo, and auxiliary control on the bottom part of that column only get hit once, and then any subsequent rolls move on to the next column.
Yep.
Anything that is not underlined, we stay in that section until we can't do damage on it anymore. So go ahead, Ben, and roll. You hit the roll DAC.
Yep.
So a 7, which then is cargo. We don't have any cargo, so I'll mark that off. We hit forward hull. So forward hull is right here. I have 3 of those. Now I have 2. Go ahead and roll again.
Right.
An
8,
8
6, and
is
2.
an aft hull. So I'll take a hit on my aft hull, and you can roll again. And a 7.
And
So that'd be
another
another
7.
forward hull hit. Okay. So I weather the damage pretty well. I don't take any major damage. And that is that. So I'll clean off the damage allocation chart, and we have resolved damage. So you knocked down my
Yep.
front shield and got 3 hull hits, and I almost knocked your shield down.
And really quickly, you fired everything you had there, right?
So I have everything that bore to the front. I still have
Right.
4 phaser 3s that do not bear to the front that I have
Okay.
not fired.
Okay. I
Um,
can't. There's no like backward slip, right?
correct. Yeah,
Just
you're
okay.
always moving forward.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. So impulse 18 is complete. We move on to impulse 19, in which nobody moves, and Klingons with hand phasers are standing in the holes of shooting at your ship,
Yeah.
and nothing happens because, yeah, you still have a shield. Impulse 20, we both move.
Okay.
I am going to go. See, I have moved 3 times, and I don't have a move. Yeah. Okay. So that's just gonna be
Head-on collision.
what it is. We're going in.
So there's no like
No, these
no collision.
hexes are 10,000 kilometers across.
Okay.
So there's no ramming or anything of that nature.
And I could just move in the same hex if I wanted to.
Oh, sure. I can drop the charts. I'm sorry. Yeah, you can move in the same hex. That's considered range 0.
Okay. Okay.
So ruling
Um,
on range 0, if weapons did not bear before you move to range 0 with a player, they don't automatically bear because you're range 0.
Okay.
So you can come straight on in, and you don't have to worry about me shooting you with those phasers that didn't bear before.
Yeah, and then just really quick, when on the, for example, the photon torpedo chart, when it says NA, does that mean it's just guaranteed to hit
No, it
at
cannot
range
fire
0?
at that range.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
My
makes a little
my
more sense.
disruptors are the same. Standard
Okay.
disruptors cannot fire at range
Yeah.
0.
Okay. I think I'll side slip right there.
Okay, cool. Then I'm gonna fire.
Yep.
I now have 2 phaser 3s that bear. I have no hope of getting through your number 6 shield,
I
which is,
also have 3 reinforcements on number 6.
yeah, but I'm gonna fire anyway out of pure spite.
Okay.
So range 1 on phaser 3s is a 6 and a 4, so that's 7 points of damage. So you had 3 on the specific,
Mm-hmm.
so you take 4
So I'm
points of
down to
damage.
4.
Yeah, great.
Great.
Then we end impulse 20 and move on to impulse 21. Nobody moves. Impulse 22. We both move. I am going to slip there.
Oh, that's not nice. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna turn and move here.
Okay. I'm gonna fire again.
Okay.
I have the two rear firing phaser 3s that now are in that come to bear.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'll be 2 phaser 3s at range 1, which is the same as before. I just gotta hope I would get better rolls. Nope. That's 6 points of damage on your number 4 shield,
Great.
which is your rear.
Just protecting the first one.
Yep. And our first full firing solution. Nobody has any weapons remaining that can fire this turn.
Yep.
And I take 3 internals, and you take some shield damage. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, cool. Then we finish out the turn, and let's go ahead and back it out just a little bit because we're gonna pull apart a little, and yeah. Oh, I can't see anybody on the screen now. What's going on? Oh, there we go. Okay. I'll put the ships down because we're done with ship combat for a little bit. We're just going to be maneuver. So impulse 23, nobody moves. Impulse 24, we both move. I will make a turn.
Okay.
Sorry, I need to get a. There we go.
That's slightly annoying. I will.
Hey, Knox Bear, good to see you.
What's up, Knox?
If you're interested in playing with us sometime, I'm happy to teach you to play too.
Do I
The
have a slip? I do, yeah, because I just
You
turned.
do, yeah. You just turned, and so you can slip. All right.
Right.
Then next impulse is 25 and 18's move. I will also slip. I turned and now I can slip.
Yep.
That's one move. 26, you move. 15's. 27, I move. 28, you move. On impulse 29, I move again. Impulse 30, you move.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Impulse 31, I move again. And impulse 32, everybody moves their last.
Yep. I will turn.
As will I.
This kinda reminds me of jousting.
Okay,
Wow.
so at this point in time, we've ended turn 2. We'll begin turn 3 with energy allocation again. So I will pull up energy allocation so we can watch again how to do it. Uh, Bennett has fired his photon torpedoes, so
Yep.
I know that there's 2 turns, or at least this full next turn, before he's able to put that kind of damage on me again. Um, that that
Um,
that's yeah, that's good. I will pull up the display so I can show my energy allocation. So I didn't take any damage to systems, so my power output has not changed. What has changed though, okay, so I
so
want to talk for a minute about batteries. Something that you can do with batteries in fights. So batteries can be used. It's basically just additional points of power that can be used at any time. It can't be used towards movement, but it can be
okay.
used for things like specific reinforcement, or putting battery power into your phaser capacitors, or any number of other ship systems that we haven't gotten to yet, like tractor beams or transporters, or like um, yeah, basically anything. Shuttlecraft. All battery power can be used at that. What is often done if you have battery power and you're in a situation like I was just in, where you're taking some internal damage, you can dump batteries at the time that you take the damage into specific reinforcement and reduce your damage on demand. So what I could have done there is I could have said, I have 3 batteries. I have 3 points of internal damage that are coming in. I'll dump all 3 of my batteries into specific reinforcement and save my shield.
Okay.
So it would have just reduced my damage by 3.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have taken those 3 internal hits. Um, I would have to then recharge those batteries from my power allocation before I could use them again. That's the trade-off. Like you have to power them before you can use them again.
Mhm.
And after a situation like we were just in, if I had taken damage to my warp engines or my impulse or to weapons, that's definitely things that I wish that I could have saved, as
Yeah.
opposed to I just took hull damage. So,
Um,
oh no, Noxberry, you were given the opportunity, or was the opportunity forced upon you to reload your system? That sounds awful. But we're glad that you're back. Absolutely.
charging phaser threes is
1/2 point of power per phaser.
per.
Yeah. So
Mm,
I fired 6 points worth of phasers. So I charged 6 points worth of phasers.
let's see.
Put my shields back up. One other point on specific reinforcement. You
Mhm.
have to have at least 1 box remaining on your shield to reinforce it.
So you
So
can't reinforce your
I
front
cannot
anymore.
reinforce my front shield anymore. That
Yeah.
is I am incapable of doing that. You can provide general reinforcement still, but remember, general reinforcement only acts as a 1/2 point per power. So if I put 8 points of general reinforcement, if you shot me in the back, it would come off of the general reinforcement first, which is good. But if you shot me in the front, then it would come off of that general reinforcement before it went in. So you're going
Yeah.
to be angling now forever to try to get back in to where you're
In
shooting in my open front shield.
well, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Well, what I'm really angling for is not to take any damage before I get my torpedoes back.
yeah. So at this point, I guess we are you about there on
I'm
allocation?
ready.
Okay, I'm not. I still have to finish. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna accelerate. I don't have much of a choice. I have to get some space. All right. So then that means with 13 points of power into um, I'm moving up to speed 19, so that's going to change
Mhm.
things a little bit. What's your speed this turn?
18.
18. Great, awesome. So let's take a look at your allocation for the peanut gallery. All right, so you're putting in, so you're recharging all your phasers. That's good. You're recharging all of your photons. Um, so we're not going to do it this turn, but if you wanted to overload your photon torpedoes, you
Mhm.
could either put up to you could put between 2 and 4 points of power in each turn. Each additional point that you put in counts as 2 damage points later. So if you put in 4 this turn and 4 next turn, that's 8 total. It does 16 points of damage. If you put in
Okay.
2 now and 6 later, it's still the 16 points of damage.
Yeah.
Minimum you can put in is 2. Maximum you can put in is 6.
Right.
So, um, and then that changes your range categories for overloads.
Yeah,
Um,
I see that there.
yeah, but a full brace of fully overloaded photon torpedoes is horrifying
Pretty
to have to
good.
deal with. Um,
I mean, a full of normal ones seems pretty scary.
yeah, yeah, that hurt already. Um, Disruptors is the same way, except that they still fire every turn. So I could put in 4 points of power and overload a disruptor, as opposed to my standard 2, which for the standard disruptor. A word on how these other things work as well. So there are a couple of different extra for Klingons, extra firing modes for their disruptors. It represents as Klingons got better with their disruptors over time, like
Mhm.
over the years. Their UIM is called the Ubitron Interface Module, which makes it so that they can fire um, their mid-range photon or mid-range disruptors are easier to hit with. Doesn't change the
Mhm.
damage at all. It just changes their 16 to 22 to a 1 to 4 instead of a 1 to 3. Um, so if I used my UIM, then I could fire at 16 to 22 and potentially have better chance at hitting.
So why
Um,
would you not just always use UIM?
well, number one, UIM doesn't always exist on ships depending on the year that we're fighting in.
Okay.
The ship may not have UIM. Number two, every time that you use them, every time that you fire using the UIM, there's a chance that it can burn out. You have to roll to see if it burns out, in which case you can't fire any more disruptors until the end of the turn while you're changing out the UIM.
Okay.
Um, Same thing, and then Durfax. Durfax is another firing control method. It makes your longer range disruptors better, 1 to 3 and 1 to 3 on the 23 to 30 instead of 1 to 2.
Mhm.
Um, and it can't burn out. But you'll notice here on the screen there's um, a hit and run box here
Mhm.
for both UIM and Durfax. Again, this is stuff that we're not doing right now, but um, more advanced play, you can use your Marine boarding parties to do hit and runs on various systems. If you're within range of your transporters and you have an open shield on your ship and the other ship, you can send Marines over to attempt to do a hit and run and destroy certain systems. There's not a really good chance that it happens, but it can work out for you if if you
Yeah.
like doing that kind of thing. And UIM and Durfax are both things that can be targeted.
Yep. Right.
So
Is that the same thing with my proximity photon torpedoes?
no, proximity fuse doesn't have a firing mode or a module that makes it
Can be
work.
damaged? No,
Yeah.
I meant like it's just a different firing mode
Yeah,
sort of
so
thing. Okay.
whenever you start charging your proximity fuse, you charge them just like normal photon torpedoes, but you make a note that you intend to fire them as proximity fuse whenever they're completed, which
Yep.
means you can't fire them inside range 9, and they do less damage, but they have a better chance of hitting at longer ranges.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so looking at yours and looking at mine, I think we're ready to return. I'm gonna go to the speed impulse chart and make some edits here. so that we've got me at, see, I'm red, so me at, no, there we go. I 19s are red. Where'd my, there we are. And 18s are blue. Now we get into some of the more advanced concepts like seeking weapons, then this changes all the time. Like once seeking weapons are on the board, then they move on their own
Yep.
at their own speed. Other ships can move at different speeds as well. So we could have, tons
Oh
of
yeah,
different speeds out here.
I could just imagine if you have like a big 4v4 fleet fight or something.
Right, right. We always planned, me and Zale and Souls and some other friends. We always planned to
Hmm.
do a big 11 on 11 ship combat.
Oh,
With,
that would be
and but
fun.
we never ever really got around to it. But fleet battles are always a lot of fun.
Hmm.
All right, so we'll move on. I'll go ahead and get us started on turn 3. Let me drop the charts and get back to the action somewhat. And pop up our, where did it go? There it is. Hey, Techno Buddy's here, or the Nobody's here. Sorry, I keep calling you the wrong thing. The Nobody, welcome. Um, Impulse 3-1. Did that go? Yep, 3-1. Okay, cool. Welcome to Starfleet Battles Academy. I'm teaching Bennett how to play the classic Starship combat game. Good stuff. Um, yeah. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Impulse 1, nobody moves. What field is facing me right now? Your number 5
My
shield?
number 5.
You don't have any damage on your number 5 shield.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Then I'm not firing on Impulse 1. Are you firing on Impulse 1?
No, sir.
Okay. Then we'll move on to Impulse 2, 19s and 18s.
Yep.
So again, I am moving faster, so I'm going to, well, it doesn't really matter. You can slip.
I'll slip.
All right. Impulse number 3, nobody moves. Impulse number 4, both of us move. Go
Yep.
forward.
Forward.
Impulse number 5, nobody moves. Impulse number 6, we both move.
Forward.
Slip. Impulse number 7, 19s move. Forward. Impulse number 8, 18s move.
Forward.
Impulse number 9, we both move.
I will be turning.
I too am turning.
Oh, I think it's that. Yeah.
Did I screw something up? Hang on a second. I'll make sure. Nope, I'm still in the same. Okay. Making sure I was still in the same. We're just circling each other. All right. Impulse number 10, nobody moves. Impulse number 11, we both move.
Okay. I will slip.
It's just a strange space ballet.
Yeah.
Impulse number 12, it's me. Impulse number 13, it's you. Impulse number 14, it's me. Impulse number 15, it's a you.
Okay.
Impulse number 16, mid-turn, it's both of us.
Okay. Getting ready for another jousting charge.
Impulse number 17, it's me. Klingario. And I've got a shot at your number 5 still. Damn it! uh, yeah. Whatever. Um,
Okay.
Impulse number 18, It's a U.
Turning. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that gives me your
That
number
gives you a shot
6.
at 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna fire.
And I can okay, I can call my battery, after the damage, right?
After you've heard what the damage is, but before it's applied.
Great.
That's correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
perfect.
I'm gonna go ahead and fire my 4 disruptors,
Okay.
and because they all fire forward half, you are at range. I guess I probably should check range before. Doesn't matter really though. 14. Yeah, that's still in pretty good range. Not expecting I'm gonna knock down the shield with just 4 disruptors. We decided we're at 14.
You might wanna pull up the ship diagrams on stream.
Sure. All right. So then at range 14, I'm in my 19 to 15 range. So all of my firing types are 1 to 4s, but it's only 3 points of
Yep.
damage.
Yeah,
So,
I meant more the damage graphs
oh,
or
yeah.
charts.
Okay, cool. Um, I'm going to go ahead and just fire the 4 disruptors, nothing else at this time.
Copy that.
And yeah, all right. So we'll move back then to the rolls. So I'll roll. Um, that is a 6. That's a miss. That is a 1 is a hit. That's a 6. It's a miss. And a 2. So
Okay.
2 points, 2 hits. That's 6 points of damage on that shield. Did you have any specific on that one?
Shield 6, I did not have any
All right.
reinforcements or anything.
All right. So I'm going to apply 6 points of damage to your number 6 shield.
Great.
All right. And I'll pull up the shield so you guys can see, or pull up the ships so that you guys can see what happened. All right. So 4 disruptors fired. That was not ideal, but it is what it is. All right. Then we'll go to impulse 19, in which I move, and I will slip.
Bold prediction, we're gonna do the same thing.
In.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to stay with you. Impulse 20, your move.
Flip in.
Yep. Impulse 21, I move. Gotta be forward. Impulse 22, we move. Slip
Forward for
again.
me.
Yeah. Impulse 23, nobody. Impulse 24. We both move. I've got to move forward this time because I slipped last time.
I will also move forward, actually.
All right. Then impulse 25. Oh, a rarity. You move, and I do not.
I'll slip in.
Okay. Impulse 26. I move. And this is my turn. You're just outside my forward arc. Just a bit outside. Impulse 27. We move. Slipping in. I'm outside your forward arc. Whew.
Yeah.
I think both of those things are important at this point, this stage in the game.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Impulse 28, nobody. Impulse 29, both of us.
Okay. Give me a second here.
Sure.
9. Okay. No moves or no actions.
Okay. Impulse 30, nobody. Impulse 31, both of us.
Slip in.
Impulse 32. Everybody moves their last.
Do I have a turn? I don't remember.
You do not.
Okay, great. I will go forward. And now I think I do.
Yes. You just just like me, you just completed your turn mode. So Great. All right. Well, now we reallocate. So I'll
Um,
move back to.
oh, not quite.
We'll go to turn 4. Imp 4-1. And we will reallocate power. So, oh, that's on you. I'll do mine.
Um,
Imp 2.
if I do that, I have. So I can't turn without moving.
Correct.
Okay.
Zoom in again, see if we can catch a little bit more of the action for a little while.
Um,
No. That's a shame. Well, the cost of upping or lowering speed, as you lower speed, your turn radius gets smaller. So the smaller or the slower you're moving, the faster you can turn, but you're moving fewer times throughout the turn. And you have more power to place elsewhere. If you're moving faster, you have less power to place elsewhere. Your turn mode goes up higher. Like so, if I were to increase my speed up to 22, for instance, then I would have to move 5 times before I could turn. Instead of right now, I'm doing 4. If I've lowered it down to 15, I could turn every 3 moves. So it's really just trying to strike a good balance between getting to where you need to get and then being able to be maneuverable and having power for other things as well. And then again, the um, the there is a limit to how much you can accelerate between turns. So if you drop down to a much lower speed for one turn, you limit how fast you can go for the next turn. Right. The lower the speed, the less the impulses you actually move on. Correct. So yeah, if you're moving speed 15, you're going to move 15 times total. If you're moving speed 27, you're going to move 27 times total over all 32 impulses. And that's what the impulse chart really means. I know it's hard to see there, but on the speeds that we've been going, this tells you, between if you're moving this speed, so speed 18, you're moving 18 times over the course of those 32 impulses. Whereas if I bump up to say 26, I'm gonna by the end of the 32 impulses, I will have moved 26 times. It's harder for me to turn because I'm moving a lot faster.
Okay,
And
I'm ready.
starships do not drift. All right, we're good to go. We'll go back to yeah, I'm gonna have to drop the ships again because we're gonna get close to the edge of the map here if we're not real careful. Um, and lower, break things out again. 32 speed, you can't move 32. The fastest any ship can move is 31. But for my ship is my turn mode for 29 plus is 6, so I'd have to move 6 times before I could turn. For Bennett's ship, his is 28 plus, so I have 1 better maneuverability at high speed than he is.
Yep.
All right. Go ahead.
I have cut my speed to 9.
Oh, so you're moving speed 9. Well, I
Yeah.
have upped my speed to 28.
To 28?
28.
Okay. Okay.
This is a yeah. This is the do or die round for me because you've got photons again.
Yeah.
I need to be able to hit you and then get as far away from you as possible so that you can't hit me back. That's the hope anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, so we'll go to 28 then, and I'm marking things. 28 and 9. I'm gonna have to hide some rows here or some columns so I can actually even see these together. Or I guess just could zoom out again. Yeah, there we go. All right, round, or I guess impulse 1 of turn 4. Nobody moves. Impulse 2. 28s. I had completed my turn mode at my previous speed, so I'm free and clear. I am turning there.
Okay.
And
have you moved forward yet?
yeah, I did. I'm
okay.
on that line.
Okay.
Yeah?
No.
You're okay.
Hold.
Hold. Hold. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get us to there we go. All right. So you're at range 6 from me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Impulse 3. 28s. Slip.
Okay, let's see here. What do I have? I have left sides.
Yeah.
That's gonna be.
You gotta
Can
do
you
it.
pull up your shields again?
Yes, sir. I sure will.
Thank you very much.
If I can find the right keyboard. There we go. So you will be firing at my number 6 shield at this moment, which is full.
Ah, fuck it. Okay.
You doing
I'm
it?
shooting 2 phaser ones.
Awesome.
At what, 5 range?
Range
Yeah,
is
5
5.
range.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Uh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes.
That's gonna be 5 damage.
Okay. Okay.
As
So
in that's
you split
gonna
them.
be 2.
So 7 total.
So 7 total.
All right. I will take that gladly.
Any reinforcements
No, sir.
on those? Great. Yeah, you probably just chucked everything into
The wheels.
little steam ahead.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to keep track of my moves this turn. Okay, I'm good. Impulse 4. That is 9s and 28s.
Yeah. So you first.
I only have one place I can go.
Turn.
Ah.
No! Ah!
Yes, yes,
Just
yes,
you
yes,
wait
yes.
till those torpedoes get locked.
You just you wait until those torpedoes get a lock. I'm fine
I'm
here.
waiting.
We're all fine here.
All right. I'm down
Impulse.
to. Okay, sorry.
You
Go
good? You want?
on. I'm just looking at my turn speed. So what? At turn mode 2.
Yeah. That's a turn.
So I only
Move.
need to
Move. Turn.
move. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait.
All right. Impulse 5 then. 28s. Slip in.
Okay, give me a second.
You've got 2 more
Two,
phasers.
three. Yeah, well, hold on. At 4 hexes.
You want to paint another
Nope.
one of my shields?
Nothing.
No? Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
Oh, what shield would that be though?
Well, I'm moving faster, and we're on the center line, so it would be my number 5 shield.
Okay, yeah, definitely not.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. Then next impulse. Impulse 6 is 28s. And that is my 5th move at speed. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right, and that was the forward move, yes? I did.
That was forward.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay, great. That's what I thought. Then impulse number 7, 28s. I'm going to slip. I might be in a little bit of trouble here, actually. Impulse 8. 28s and 9s.
Okay. Let me think here. Okay. Slip.
Nice. I love it. All right. Next impulse. Number 9. Nobody moves. Want want. Impulse 10. 28s. Want want. Okay.
Okay.
Impulse 11. 28s and 9s. Range
Yeah.
6. And I'm just still on your number 5. Want want.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I don't know, 8-bit. You might want to take that. That's all I'm saying. You want to fire.
Impulse 12. 28s. I slipped, so I gotta move. Ugh.
It's
You're okay, so now
my 4s.
that's your number 4. And you're on my forward half. This is the last impulse you'll be on my forward half for a little while. So range is not what I wanted there. Range is not ideal, but I'm not gonna get a better shot this turn, I don't think. So you slowed down. I didn't expect you to slow down. That's such a rookie mistake by me. That's okay. All right. I am going to fire. I am going to fire
Okay.
4 disruptors. I'm going to fire
Do I have anything?
you've got
No, I don't. Oh, I have left side. No, I already
you
shot my
fired the
left
left
side.
side,
Nope.
so yeah.
Yeah, not happening.
All right. So I'm going to fire 4 disruptors. I'm going to fire a 2 phaser 1s. I'm going to fire a phaser 2. My
Okay.
other phaser 2 does not bear currently.
Did I? Okay.
All right. So 4 disruptors, they're standard. Range is 6, so it is a 1 to 4 to hit. I'm going to roll all
Okay.
4 of those. So 1 to 4. That is a miss. That is a hit. That is a miss.
Miss.
That is a hit.
Yeah.
Well, I
Okay.
cannot. The Luck is not with me today. Okay, so that is 3 points per. So yeah, still 3 points. That's at a 6. Damn it. Needed to get in 2 more to get better, but that's okay. 6 points of damage from disruptors. So 2 phaser 1s at range 6. Also not ideal. It's okay. 2 phaser 1s, a 3 and a 3. That is another 6, so 12 points of damage.
Okay.
And then 1 phaser 2. This one may not do anything at all. Oh, nope, it will. Range 6, that is another 2. So 14 total. So that will not bring down your shield.
I'll tank it.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Well, damn it.
Okay.
All right. That's that. We move on.
That it is.
Impulse 13, 28's move. Let's see here. If I slip in there, you're still not in arc for the other one, but now you're at range 5. Again, probably not going to get better than this, are we?
Okay.
No, it's not worth it. Not worth it. Okay. Moving on.
Yep.
14. 28. 15. 28s and 9s.
Okay, you first. Oh. Oh, golden opportunity. Let's see. Oh, that's your back shields though.
That'll be my number
Shield 5.
5. Yep.
Yeah, I'll hold.
I have a peek at your number 3 now.
Yes.
Okay. Not worth it. Okay. And I'll hold as well.
Okay.
Impulse 16, 28s. That's also your number 3 shield. I've lost the initiative, unfortunately. Impulse 17, nobody moves. Impulse 18, we both move.
Okay. And a slip.
Yep. I know where this
My
is going.
years of my years of StarCraft are paying off.
I know where this is going. You have satisfied your turn mode. Okay. And I have.
Oh, have I? Yeah, I have. I
Yeah,
think.
you have. Because you only got to move twice.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I've got one more before I satisfy mine. That's not good.
Am I still looking at your 5s? I think I
Yeah,
am.
you still got my 5s.
Damn.
Impulse 19, I move. Okay. Impulse 20, 28's move. Come on. Here we go. Okay, that's still peeking at your number 3, which is strong. It's doing me no good.
No, I'm good.
All right. Impulse 21, 28's move. Impulse 22, 28s and 9s.
Okay. Didn't you just slip?
Did I?
I
Maybe
think so,
I think I
yeah.
might have you. I think you're correct.
Okay. I will turn.
Just outside of that forward arc.
Yep.
All right. Impulse 23. 28's move. Now I can slip.
Yep.
Impulse 24. 28's. I gotta move forward. Impulse 25. 9's only.
Okay. Slip.
Impulse 26. 28's move. That's a slip. That's 5 moves. Well, I'm in a lot of trouble. Impulse 27. 28's move. I have to move forward.
Classic Top Gun maneuver here.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's my 6 moves. So impulse 28. 28's move. Do I have any runway here? Am I out of runway? I'm out of runway,
You're
aren't I?
pretty much out of runway.
Yeah. I think I got jammed into a corner here, and I think I might not make it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that's my sixth move will put me off the board. That's a shame.
Well, how many turns are left? Because you might have to cut your speed here,
Yeah,
right?
no, I absolutely have to.
Yeah.
We're 4 away. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what has to happen. Impulse 29. We both move.
Okay.
I slip. Impulse 20. All right, impulse 30. I move. Go forward. Impulse 31. I move and slip. Impulse 32. Everybody moves their last, and I have to go forward, and I'm 4 moves in.
And turn.
Uh-oh. Are you gonna fire?
Okay. How far away are we? Pretty far.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Nope. I'm
14.
gonna hold.
Okay. All right, then we reallocate.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I ask, or are you good to keep going for a little bit longer?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then we will continue on for the next turn. Reallocate.
Mm-hmm.
Good news is my situation really doesn't change.
I don't have my photons stay, right?
So
I
now
don't
that
lose
they're
them.
charged, you put 1 point of power per launcher to hold them.
Okay.
But
Great.
they are fully charged. You can hold them as long as you need to, as long as you keep cycling that 1 point of power to hold them.
Oh, I have so much
I
power.
know, I know.
What am I gonna do with this?
Run me down and
Um,
blow me up, I think.
Probably.
I
Double bag
fired
this.
3 phasers that turn, so that sucks.
No, that's definitely not the call.
Okay.
Um,
Good news is that I've successfully got my weak shields away from you.
okay.
Unfortunately, you're gonna make some more weak shields here real quick.
That's
Real quick
lame.
like.
Okay. Do I have a turn? I do not. Um,
Okay. That's unfortunate. Let's
Okay.
see. Let's shoot for.
Although, I can't overcharge my torpedoes now, can I?
Correct. They're
Okay, that's
completely
fine.
over, or they're completely loaded, and we're not doing overloads this time around anyway.
Oh yeah,
Once we
I forgot about that.
once we get to it, yeah, because I could have overloaded last time, and that would have gone a
Yeah.
little bit differently. But um, but yeah. Oh no, I don't
Do I
have.
even care about that? Probably not. Hmm.
That one extra point of power that you have over me is starting to show. I'm feeling it.
Uh. So how I imagine in the big fleet battles you balance it by the point value.
Correct. And there's
Okay.
lots of things that you can do with point value. So while we're taking a minute to redo allocation and everything, we'll talk about point value. So your base point value is your ship as it is with no refits. Um, so in my case, my ship, my D5 is unrefitted. So if I took the the K refit and turned it into a D5K, then
Hmm.
my phaser 2s on the wings would turn into phaser 1s, which is what
Okay.
it says down here. Phaser
Yeah.
2s marked K are phaser 1s in the K refit. If I took the 175 refit, which happens in the year 175, then it makes changes to my drone racks, which basically makes it so that my drone racks have more information or more ammunition, and
Hmm.
that would make me 114 point ship. Your ship has its full refit. You're 116 base. You have your plus refit to turn the APR into AWR, and your the plus refit gives you the extra shield boxes and the phaser threes. So you're effectively a 124 point ship. You
I
also
see.
have a refit that doesn't give you any more point value that gives you one additional reload to your drone racks. So you only have one drone rack, but you get to load it 3 times total.
Okay.
Um, Drones don't mean anything to you yet, but man, they will.
Okay.
um, but
I'm
yeah,
ready.
so if you're doing larger ship battles or you're trying to balance yourself, then you can take deficits to your points like I'm doing right now. Um,
Yeah.
or you can buy upgrades to like your drones or you buy additional things that are extra on board your ship that give you additional points or take points away.
Yeah.
Um, but okay, so you're ready to go?
Um. Um. mm, what one more point there kept me. Well, we'll put one more point in.
More
We'll
speed.
cut it from more speed.
Let's do it.
We'll do that. Okay,
All
I'm
right,
ready.
then what is your speed for the turn?
19.
19, and I am 21.
Great.
All right. So I had to drop down to 21 because that gives me a 4 turn mode,
Yeah.
and I can actually turn on my next turn and stay on the map. So that was the
Great.
fastest I could go, given otherwise I would end up off the map and end the game.
All
So
right.
let me mark the segments here. Get that out where they're easier to read, and you're 19. All right, so 21 and 19. Then dare I ask, impulse 1. Nobody moves.
Nope.
No fire?
No fire.
Okay. Well, obviously I'm not firing either.
Okay.
Impulse 2, 21 and 19.
Gonna slip.
Yes, you are. This is gonna hurt real bad. Real bad. That's okay. Impulse 3, nobody moves. Impulse 4, 21s and 19s.
Okay. Forward. Wrong thing. Okay.
Impulse 5, 21s only. Impulse 6, 19s only.
Okay. Slip.
He's closing in.
Plan.
Impulse 7, we both move.
Forward.
It's 3 moves for me. Impulse 8, 21s move. That's my 4th move. Impulse 5, 19s move.
Okay, go ahead and turn.
I'm not surprised. Impulse 13, 21s move. Where are you? There it is. I will also turn. And what is the range?
Range is 12.
Okay, 12 it is. I'm gonna fire 4 disruptors
Yep.
and hold the rest. 4 disruptors.
Okay.
Okay, so 1 to 4 on a hit is a hit, and that is at your front shield.
Okay.
I bet it is jacked.
It is.
um, disruptor number 1 is a hit. Disruptor number 2 is a hit.
That's
Disruptor
gonna
number
hurt.
3 is a miss, Sag. Disruptor number 4 is a
Hit.
hit. 9 points of
Okay.
damage.
9. How much? I'm sitting on 5 plus 6. I hold. Okay.
So you had 6 overall or
Yeah,
6 specific?
6 specific.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually drop my battery to block more of that.
Okay. So you've got 8 specific, which means you
Uh-huh.
only take 1 on the shield.
Yep.
All right. Great. Save the shield.
Save the shield.
Okay. Well, that was my one shot.
Yeah.
Moving along. Impulse 11. We both move.
Okay. Slip in.
Yep.
Stop running.
Never. I
I'm coming.
I'm gonna fire again. I'm gonna fire
Okay.
2 phaser ones because they both bear on the FX. Um, so
Okay.
this is not ideal.
This is 12.
Yeah, this is not ideal, but we're gonna see what we can get done here. All right. Fire number 1 is a miss. Number 2 is a hit for 2 points of damage.
Okay.
All right.
Shield's still hanging on.
2 points left on the shield. I'm whittling you away. I'm wearing you down, baby.
Just you wait.
Just
I'm
me
gonna
wait.
get within range of those torpedoes
Just,
real soon here.
just you wait, indeed. Oh, you guys can't see where I am because I've got the ships up. Sorry about that. Um, Impulse number 12. 19s only.
Forward.
Impulse 13. 21s only. Forward. It's 2.
Okay.
Impulse 14. Both of us. Slippy, slippy.
Turn.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Um, that is a problem. Okay, well, impulse 15. Nobody moves.
Mhm.
Impulse 16. We both move.
'Kay. Forward.
This is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
This is gonna hurt a lot. Just gotta wear it. I just gotta wear you down. Impulse 17. Both of us move.
Okay.
I'm gonna go forward.
Forward. Yeah, that's fine.
Impulse 18. Nobody moves. Impulse 19. 12s and sorry, 21s and 19s. Slip.
Forward. I'm gonna box you into the other corner
Uh,
now.
that is the thing that happens. Imp.
So what happens if you go off the map there?
So it depends on the rules that we set at the beginning of the game. In
Mhm.
tournament play, the map is finite. If you leave the map, you lose. In certain other scenarios, the map is infinite, where if we reach one side of the map or we're getting close to one side of the map, we just move ourselves
Okay.
in relatively so that we're back to the center of the
Yeah.
map, basically. Um, Relative infinite map favors faster, more maneuverable players,
Yeah.
um, or faster players. Finite map favors more maneuverable players.
Yeah.
Um, Impulse 20,
You
21s
won't see
only.
a you won't see a battle cruiser on an infinite map. That's for sure. Okay, what are we looking at here?
You're shooting at my number
9.
3.
Yeah. Okay.
Impulse. Impulse 21. 19s only.
Forward.
It's 8.
I have all phasers, huh?
Everything except for your right side bear.
Yeah. At 8 range, I'd like to be a little closer for maximum damage. I think I can afford to let this one slip.
Impulse. I'm gonna look. Phaser 2s are. Phaser 2s are looking better. The way I've been rolling today, it doesn't matter. It won't matter that much. All right, we'll move on.
Okay.
Impulse 22. I'm just getting to the end of the turn where I can turn the fire on you again. 21s and 19s. I've got to move forward.
Mm,
7 now.
slip. I'm gonna slip.
Oh, okay. Impulse 23. 21s only. I also am going to slip. Impulse 24. Impulsive decision.
Yep.
19s only.
Forward.
8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm exactly where I don't want to be.
I'm looking for that 5.
Impulse 25. 21s only. Impulse 26. 21s and 19s. Impulse 27. 19s only.
Okay. Sevens. No, still not quite there.
Impulse 28. 21s only.
Gonna turn?
I am not.
No. Give me those front shields.
Never.
Or shall I say lack thereof?
Impulse 29. 19 and 21s. I'm gonna slip again.
Okay. Okay.
God,
Board.
you're gonna centerline me. Impulse 30, nobody moves. Impulse 31, we both move.
Oh,
And I have to make a decision.
what is that? That's
I slipped last time, so damn it.
it's fine.
Did you move? Or have you moved?
Oh. Is
Yeah,
it
you
what?
move this
Okay,
turn.
great.
And then our final move on Impulse 32.
Okay. You first. You're going faster, I imagine.
It's true.
Although I don't think that's going to change very much.
I'm
Okay.
gonna take that back. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I am going to turn. I just can't reach the little turn doohickey. There.
Okay.
I am going.
That's the 5 I've been looking for.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna fire. I have to.
All phasers go. What shield is that? Oh,
It's gonna be
it's
my
not
number.
great
My
shields
number
though.
2.
Yeah. So I
One.
guess I do my torpedoes too. But that's 1 to 3. That's so bad. I'll just do phasers.
Just phasers. Okay.
Just phasers.
All right.
All 6.
I'm firing 1 phaser 2 and 2 phaser 3s.
I'm doing 6 phaser 1s. And what's my phaser 3s? Is that even within
Your
range? At
two of
5?
your
Yeah.
phaser 1s do not bear. I'm on the
2?
yeah, your right,
Right.
your
Okay,
left
that's
sides.
fine.
Yeah.
Then I will do 4 phaser 1s.
Okay. And you're firing into my number 2 shield. 4 phaser
Yep.
1s versus my phaser 2 and 2 phaser 3s.
Yep.
You want to go? You want to do the honors?
Sure. 2, 5. Okay, so that is at 5 range. 4 plus 5, 9, 13, 16 points into your second shield.
16 points to my number 2. I'm sure that that one was not the one that I had enforced. No, it was not. So you said 16?
16.
Let me put that up on the screen. Boop. Okay, that shield's not looking great. But okay, so I'll fire back, and this one goes into your front.
Okay.
Phaser 2 at, I'll put up the table. Phaser 2 at range 5 is a not great. Let's find out if this is worth it. 3 is 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And then my 2 phaser 3s at the same range, no damage. Your shield holds!
Holds. Oh boy. Okay. Well, I
Uh,
wonder where most of my energy's going next turn.
Come on, man!
It's Helm's Deep.
Alright, so I've got 3 phasers that will not fire for 8 impulses.
Yep. I have
Alright,
4.
rear. Okay.
My right can, right? Yeah.
Yeah. If you can get it into
Yeah.
range. Alright. I fired
Okay.
5 points worth of phasers that turn, so I will reallocate.
Yeah.
Fantastic. This will be the final turn because I think that you're going to put some serious damage on me this
I
turn,
hope so.
and I'll get an opportunity to see what that is really like.
So
5 points worth.
I dropped 4 phasers, so I just need to do that. I guess I can only do that. Okay. I'm ready.
As am I.
Speed 18 for me.
Speed 21 for me.
Okay.
All right, let me set the impulse chart, and we'll get after it. Speed 18. All right, then go back to the display capture. Look at our just can't find a seam. I just can't find a seam in these very well built Federation ships. All right. Well,
Oh,
um,
you've almost found one in the first shield, but
yeah, I'm getting real close, but
oh,
we'll,
reactor power, forward shields.
oh,
Let's do this.
remember you used your batteries that turn,
Yep.
so yeah. Um,
We did not recharge them.
okay. Then what was I trying to do? I was trying to do this. The impulse. Impulse 6-1. Sixth turn, sixth and final for the evening. Yeah. All right. So impulse number 1. Nobody moves. Fire. I do
You're shooting?
have I do have 4 disruptors and 2 phaser 1s that will fire.
The disruptors, right. Okay.
Yes, I get my disruptors back.
Um, no, okay.
All
Okay.
right, let's do some damage here. I finally get a shot at the Federation Pig Dog. Now watch, I miss with everything. It's 1 to 4 to hit, still at range
Mhm.
5. So
How much damage per hit for the
um,
disruptors?
only 3 still. So
Okay.
I'm still not gonna do a
I
ton
can
of
take a
damage.
few. I can tank a few.
Yeah, let's see. Um, so 4 disruptors, hit, miss, hit, hit. So 9 points of disruptor damage.
Okay. I had 8 in my
Oh my
shield.
god! So the
Shields down.
shield goes down, and I got my 2 phaser 1s.
Mhm.
So
Let's go for the big miss.
range, well, it's range 5, so I can't
Oh,
miss.
right. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
So um, so I'm gonna get in this time.
Yeah.
Let's see how much. A 2, which does 4, and a 4, which does 3. So 7 points of internal damage.
That's gonna hurt a
That one's gonna
lot.
sting a little bit, yeah. Um, okay.
Should have
Then
shot my torpedoes.
should have fired. The only
Should have
way I
fired.
can only knock off one of them,
Yeah.
and only if I roll an 11 and 7 rolls. So let's see what we got.
7 rolls.
let's see what we got. So bringing down the damage chart. I'll go ahead and roll. First roll is an 8, which is an aft hull. You do not have
Okay,
aft hull. You have center hull, which takes both forward and aft hits.
that's
So
fine.
then a 10, which is a phaser. You can choose any phaser that currently bears.
Doesn't matter the model.
It doesn't matter which model. Every
Okay.
third phaser hit has
Phaser
to be
3,
a
number
best.
7.
Yeah, I thought. That one bears. Yes, it
Yep.
does. All right. So phaser 3 takes a hit. So every third phaser has to be of the best type, but
Okay.
other than that, it just has to bear. And if no phasers bear, we skip it and move on.
Great. And you can't hit another phaser with that roll?
I can't hit another phaser on a 10, so that one's done.
Okay. Right.
Um, then we'll roll. That's 2 hits. We've got a 3, which is a drone, which you also have. You're not using
Yep.
it. So we'll knock that off. So now I've only got phaser hits on. I got phaser hits on 3, 4, and eventually 11 if I'm rolling really well.
I don't think so.
That is 3 hits, 4 to go. 7 is a hull hit. We would skip cargo and go straight to
Fine.
forward hull because you have no cargo. Next up is a 9, which is a left warp engine hit.
That's gonna hurt.
That one, well, now we're just even on power.
Yeah, that's true. But
um, but hey, I took off a phaser for you too, so you don't have to power that anymore.
there you go.
Yeah.
But I only lose I only get half a power
All
back.
right. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits, so 2 to go.
Mm-hmm.
6
More
is a
hole.
hull,
Nice. One more hole. One more hole. Or a shuttle. Get a
and
shuttle.
come on, 11. Nope, hull.
Okay. I'll take it.
Pow, 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 pow,
Stung.
pow.
Not debilitating.
Yes, that stings, but I'm about to get stung real hard.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
plan.
All right, that was impulse 1. Impulse
Yep.
2, we both move,
Okay.
and I need to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Here,
that's my opening.
here it comes.
Here it comes. That's gonna be. Oh, wait. Did I have a turn? I think I did. I don't remember.
Moving at
Uh,
speed 18, I don't think you do. We need to
well,
we need
I
to do
won't.
better at marking when we turn and things like that. But
Yeah, yeah. Let me pull up the replay really quick.
sure, I'll clean off the damage chart
Great.
while we're working on that.
Um, so that was turn 1, huh? So go back to before.
Yeah.
Okay, I was 1 off of a turn.
Okay.
Looks like.
So you get one move and
So
then you can
next
turn.
turn I get a turn. So I'm gonna slip right there. All torpedoes go
Oh God. Okay.
into shield 2, and
So
then I don't have any
yes,
phasers up
that is absolutely correct.
until turn
So
8.
4 photon torpedoes, range 4,
Yeah.
into my very, very measly 10-point shield. This is going to
What do
hurt.
I need here?
This is going to hurt a lot. Okay,
Range 4, 1 to 4. 1 hit, 1 miss, 2 miss.
Oh my God! Oh my
Oh,
God!
that hurts.
Oh, that's a stay
So
of
what's that?
execution. That's 1
Yeah,
hit for 8 points of damage.
yeah,
My shield holds.
barely.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Ben, I'm sorry. That sucks.
That is what it is.
That happens though, yeah. God.
But I think by impulse, I should get some more hits on you pretty quick. What was that? That was impulse 3?
Um, that was impulse 2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
Impulse 3. Nobody moves. Impulse 4. We both move. I,
'Kay.
I gotta slip. I gotta try to get the shield up.
I will turn, and that is gonna be
Oh no!
2 phasers,
God.
1, and a phaser 3.
And it's not like I can even turn away from, like I can't even, if I turn towards you, it's another shield that's down.
Yeah,
Turning
that's
away
that's
is yeah, I can't do it. I'm hung.
that's a 1.
Oh no.
That's a 3. So that's gonna be for the phaser 1s at range 4, that's gonna be 5 plus that's gonna be 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
And for the phaser 3 at range 4, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's not gonna do much. Okay. That's a miss.
Okay. So
It's 9 damage.
I have no reinforcement. So I get 7 internals.
Okay.
Knocks down the shield and gives 7 hits inside. All right. Well, now it's my turn to take some system damage.
Yeah.
All right. Bring back down the damage allocation and roll
Yep.
them.
8.
8 is a hull, an aft hull. Okay.
Another 8.
Aft hull,
Another 8.
aft hull,
A 4.
phaser.
Okay.
I'm gonna take the. Let's see, you're firing in through
That would be
my number
your
2 shield, so
right.
it's got to be.
Yeah.
Does that bear? My phaser threes do bear, but I haven't
Yeah.
fired them yet. I'm gonna take the phaser 2.
Okay.
That stings me, but
How many more do I have?
that was the 4th hit, so you got 3 more.
Okay. 7.
A hull, forward hull.
Okay, you're out of forward holes.
Yeah, last time in that category.
And a 6.
Is a forward hull, but I don't have that, so it's an impulse. 1 more.
Okay. And a 5.
That is a right warp engine.
Okay, we both hit each other's power.
Yeah. And I just realized that I did not drop my batteries,
That
which could have saved
could
me
have
3 of
saved
those
you.
hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could have saved your engine.
And my impulse. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that stings. Ugh.
All right.
All right. I'm just recounting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. 10 total internal hits. Okay.
Great.
Put that away. Put those guys away for a minute. And well, we don't need to put those away. They're fine where they are because they're
Man,
not blocking anything.
a 3 miss. My
That sucks,
torpedoes.
dude. I'm sorry. I really hate that for you. I love it
It
for
is what
me.
it is. Yeah, I'm sure you do.
All right. Next up then is Impulse 5, which is a 21s only,
Okay.
which is going to be a slip in.
You just slipped? No, you didn't,
No, I
right?
moved
Okay.
forward last
Yeah,
time.
you're good.
And let me look at that.
That's gonna be
It's going to be into your forward shield
my
again.
no, that's gonna be shield 6, right?
Are we? Let me look at the. I can't see it because the. Let me zoom it in a little bit so I can see.
Fine.
Oh, you're right. It is shield 6. I'll draw it from mine to you to make sure.
Go ahead.
Yep, it is because it would be. It's just to the just short of the hex line coming off of your ship.
Mhm.
So your shield 6. Your shield 6 is damaged.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I'm gonna hold.
Okay.
But you've got to turn. Or did you just turn?
I just turned, yeah.
You did just turn. Okay.
I did just turn. I have 1 move into my next turn. 3 more to go.
Got it. Okay. I don't think I get another shot. Well, I don't know that I get another shot at your forward shield, but I'm gonna hold on. Wait, let's see if I can get it. Yeah, okay. We'll hold fire for the time being.
Okay.
Impulse 6 is you.
Impulse 6, I move. Okay. Do that.
That puts you very firmly into where I do not want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to fire my 2 phaser 3s.
Great.
I cannot get through your shield, but I got to do some damage to it, and I won't get an opportunity again. So my right
Sounds good.
side phaser 3s that I held. I'm gonna fire both of them at range 2, so that's gonna be a 3 and a 3, which are 4 apiece. So 8 points of
Okay.
damage on that shield
No
6.
reinforcements.
Yeah.
You're good.
All right, so that's 6 and 2 more. So you got 6 points left on that shield.
Great.
All
So
right,
that was turn 7.
that was impulse 7.
Impulse 7.
Oh, sorry, impulse 6 because you moved and I did not.
Right.
This is
Okay.
impulse 7 coming up.
Okay.
I move and you do not.
Okay.
And I have a feeling that this is not the right move, but I've got to do it anyway. And now the left side phaser 2 comes to bear.
Okay.
So I'm going to fire it into your. No, I can't.
Same shield,
I
right?
can't. I
Shield
can't.
6.
I can't get it. I can't knock it down. So I'm going to not
Okay.
fire it.
Okay.
Damn. I'm I'm not maneuvering well as a Klingon. Next move is move 8 or impulse 8, which is both of us.
Okay.
I'm
You
going
first.
to slip.
Damn you. Um, if I slip, would it be to here? Would it be to here or to here? It'd be to
It
here,
has to be
right?
yeah, it has to be forward.
Okay. Um, damn, 8-bit. That's annoying. um,
That's exactly where you didn't want me to be.
no, it's not. Do I have anything that shoots where I want it to? I don't think so. Okay. I'll slip right here.
Great. I'm gonna open fire. I've
Fire
got
at will.
I've got the phaser 2 on that side and the 2 phaser 3s on that side.
Okay.
Into that almost down back shield.
Yep.
So
That was my last turn before I get a turn.
yep. Yep. All right.
But shield 6 is pretty healthy.
Yep. But shield 4 is not. And so shield 4 takes phaser 2 at range 1. Of course I roll the worst I could possibly roll. It's still 3 points of damage, which won't
Yep.
penetrate the shield.
Nope.
And then
We're
the two
holding.
phaser 3s, which is another 7. So 6 go in.
Yep.
All right. So because this is a new salvo, all of the underlined fields are available again.
Yep.
So we said 4, 6 go in. I did a grand total of
Yes.
10 points of
Yes.
damage. Yeah, 6 go in.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Then the first one is a 6, so that will be hull.
Yep.
And a 7, which is also hull. Your 7th shield, the
Yep.
center hull.
Yeah. Honestly.
The 9, which is a left warp engine.
Okay.
The
This might be it for me, man.
8, which is another hull. Got 3 hull and 1 engine. 4, which is a phaser that bears on.
I don't have anything that's bears right now.
You have all of your phasers. All of your phasers bear to the rear, except for your front 2. They're
Oh, so I
left
could
side
have
and right side.
fired backwards?
Yeah, yeah, you can. And if you
Oh, I was not aware.
yeah, if you want to, I'm
I
okay with.
would love to.
Yeah, please do. We'll carry this out. These last 2 critical, or these last 2 internals, as though.
Okay,
Um,
that's fine.
which one do you want to take? I assume the phaser 3, the
Um,
bears.
yeah, the phaser 3.
I would have thought so. Um, yeah, left side and right side are down the center line on either side.
Okay.
So
Um,
that's been 2 hull and a warp hit, 3 hull and a warp hit. So I got 1 more.
okay. Oh, this is going to your shield 5, though. Hmm.
It is, and it's an entirely different shield.
Then I'm not gonna fire after all, but it is good to know.
Okay. Last roll is an 8, which is another hull hit. So one
That
phaser,
shield.
1 warp, and the hull
Yep.
holds. You still got 2
Yep.
hull hits remaining. All right. So there's a tactic or a tactical concept in the
Mhm.
game that called the Miazza concept. It's named
Uh-huh.
after the man who invented it, but it's effectively firing short bursts of low damage or 1 phaser or 2 phasers over and over again at a
Uh-huh.
down shield, because each salvo gives you another shot at those underlines.
I see.
So yeah, Miazza is the Miazza concept is what it's called. It's the practice of getting into a down shield and firing short bursts on multiple impulses in a row.
Yeah.
That's effectively what I'm doing. I fired what I could on one side, and then I've moved around to the other side to get the other phasers to bear to fire at another down shield.
Yeah.
But that is a tactical concept in the game. Is you trying to get those high value hits that you can only hit once per salvo. So just
Yeah.
just heads up.
Okay.
Uh,
Man.
All right. Well, that's an eventful first 8 impulses for this turn.
Mhm.
Um, Impulse 9, 18s only. I'll pull down.
Okay.
Sorry, I gotta get back to the.
Have a turn.
You do.
So does this do what I need it to do? It does not do what I need it to do. Okay. Then let's reconsider here. What else could I do? Not a whole lot. Turning this way. Okay, that's actually probably the play.
So tactical intelligence, which you at there is a set of rules for tactical intelligence that we're not getting into specifically because it has to do
Hmm.
with gathering specific pieces of information on ships as you get closer to them. And at this close, you would know that every weapon on my ship that is capable of firing this turn has already fired.
Okay.
So maneuvering is still what you want to maneuver to try to make sure you're doing the best that you can do. But every weapon that I could fire at you this turn, I have already fired. So if you're trying to save your shields or
Yeah.
position yourself because you think more is coming, it's not this turn. I fired all 8 of my phasers at you this turn, and all 4 of my disruptors.
Well, even if I go this way, I'm going off the map. So I think I do have to go this way.
I'll uh,
Anyways.
I'll ask. Would you prefer, since we're done with this turn anyway? Do you are you trying to maneuver into a position where you can fire at me again this turn, or are you just going to be maneuvering to the end of the turn?
Um Well, if I could, like, loop around underneath you and get to the other side, I would like to do that, but I don't think that's very possible.
It's not likely.
Yeah.
I'm moving faster than you are, and I'm slightly more maneuverable than you are.
Yeah.
So
So, most likely, it's just gonna be a
what
if
I
I w
will
you know, if time wasn't an issue, which,
right.
you know what, it's 11:30 for you,
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
would probably
suggest
just go sit out and wait for my photons to recharge, but
right.
that's probably
So at this point in time, what is likely to happen is I'm going to try to stay behind you. And now that I've got your rear shield down, I'm going to try to stay behind you all the time and just
Mhm.
plink at you every chance that I get.
Yeah.
And that's what Klingons do. Like they're considerably more maneuverable, and they know that they can't take that broadside, so they either stay at range and try to hit you every turn with disruptors until they weaken you and then go in, or they weather the one hit so that they can stay on you and just pound you over and over while your photons are down.
Yeah.
Um, it gets considerably more difficult to manage dealing with a good Klingon, whenever you add drones into the mix. So we'll go ahead and stop here for the night. We'll end
Sounds good.
on 6, um, and both ships took fairly significant damage, and we'll part and go our separate ways, um, with our crews intact. But the next time that we come together to play, we'll add drones into the mix
Okay.
and overloads. So that's going to add a whole new level to the game. It's like whenever you've got an opportunity for overloads, you got to get in close to get those shots in. You got to make sure that they hit, because if they do hit, you're going to be doing massive damage, 16 a pop on a photon torpedo. Um, but then I can do overloads as well, and as long as my
Yeah.
UIMs are up, I'm hitting you 1 to 5 no matter where I am, as long as I'm
Hmm.
within range 8. Um,
Interesting.
and then my damage is doubled too. So my at range 8, I'm doing 6 per shot, and I'm almost always going to hit those. So I'm going to be
Yeah.
doing 24 a turn if I can stay on you, or I can stay at range and keep you out of overload range and just do damage to you, a little bit at a time. It's called knife fighting, or I think the Klingons specifically call it the saber dance. It's where you try to you keep your speed up, you keep your maneuverability high, stay out of range of overloads, and do small amounts of damage on multiple turns over and over and over again until you weaken a shield, and then go in with overloads for the kill.
Hmm.
Um, but then drones add an entirely new aspect to the game, because at any point in time, once per turn, um, you can launch a drone from any drone racks that you have. You have one, I have two. A drone is an autonomous seeking missile that you put on the map, and it moves at whatever speed the drone is. It's somewhere between 8 and 32, or 8 and 30, I think, for drones. Um, and if it reaches range 0 with its target, it explodes and does 12 points of damage. It can take 4 points of damage, so you can shoot it down with a phaser 3. But if you don't shoot it down, you don't reduce its damage. So doing 3 points of damage to a drone does not change that when it gets to you, it does 12.
Yeah.
So if I come in and I do my overload run, and I knock a shield down and I get behind you like I did, I drop my 2 drones, and that's the very next impulse. That's 24 damage that goes in on top of it, which is nasty.
Mhm.
Um, So, and drones are used for posturing as well. You can fire drones on approach, and force the opponent to do something about it. You've got anti drones as well. I have 2 anti drone launchers. You have a G drone rack which can fire drones and anti drones, and you can fire anti drones, basically as needed. That can fire more than once a turn. So it's basically just like flechette that you're throwing out there trying to kill the drone before it gets to you. So that's another thing that you have to keep in mind. Then once we get past overloads and seeking weapons, then we can move on to some of the other races. The Kazenti, they are disruptor and phaser race as well, but their ships have multiple drone racks. They
Hmm.
they use lots of drones. That's their primary weapon. They'll have disruptors too, but their tactics are built around massing drone attacks. And then their mortal enemy, the Lyrans, are a disruptor race, but they have a special ship system called the Expanding Sphere Generator, which generates a sphere of energy around the ship, either at range 0, range 1, range 2, or range 3. And anything that touches that sphere takes damage
Interesting.
until the amount of damage it can do is expended, and then it collapses. It can be used to kill drones, which is good against their mortal enemies, the Kazenti, or they can be used to attack ships, and that can be lots of damage if you have multiple expanding sphere generators. The more damage, the closer in to your ship, the smaller the sphere, the more the damage. The larger the sphere, the more the utility. Um, and then there are the races, the Romulans and the Gorns. They don't have direct fire weapons like the photon torpedo and disruptors. They have what are referred to as plasma torpedoes, which are basically big drones that do less damage the more they move. So, like
Interesting.
a capital ship plasma R will do 50 points of damage if it hits, but only if it has moved fewer than 10 times. And it does 35 points of damage if it has moved less than 15 times or something like that. And then their smaller torpedoes, their F type torpedoes, do 20 points of damage, but they decay very, very quickly. And you can shoot those with phasers, and it reduces the warhead strength for every point of damage that you do to it. So lots still on the horizon, lots for us still to discover and play. Thank you so much for doing this with me. It's been a lot of fun. I feel like I'm stretching my legs and working muscles that I haven't used in a really, really, really long time. Um, I hope you had a good time with it, and we get a chance to do
Oh,
this again.
you've got me hook, line, and sinker. Yeah,
well,
uh, uh, no question. That was great.
well, next time, like I said, next time we'll try another fight with overloads and
Yep.
drones, and then we can decide after that on what we want to do after, like what we want to expand into, because there's things like tractor beams and transporters
Yeah.
and boarding parties and transporter bombs and yeah, there's just tons of options that these ships have. Um, so yeah, we'll figure all that out the next time after we play. But once again,
Yeah.
thank you. Thanks to everybody who came out to watch. If there's anybody still out there, if you made it with us through this journey, if you're interested in playing with us, hit us up on the Discord. Let me
Mhm.
know. We can add. I I'm okay with running multiple ships. So if we want a team next time and do somebody joins Bennett's side and I can play on play against the two of you, or if we get three people and we want to team up on have somebody on my side, we'll just iterate on what we've learned and continue on. So
Yep.
everybody have a
Man,
great.
I thought I had you when I cut my speed there,
you
but
you definitely threw a wrench in things. You had my
I
heart
think
going.
yeah, I think if I had more than one of those torpedoes hit, I would
Yes,
be looking really good,
that would
but
have
I
it would have
didn't.
been a very different story if even one more of those hit, because
Yeah.
you came in, like you did enough damage to get in and didn't do internals. So one more hit was
That would
8
have been
more internals.
6, yeah, 8 more.
Mm,
Man. Alright.
but
Well, keep me updated on next time because 'cause I'm definitely
we'll maybe shoot for. So I know you specifically. You've got class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and
yeah.
those are my best days. Um,
Okay.
since we've already got stream. So if you're
Yeah.
new to the stream, if you're just just joining us, We do Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays already. Um, Tuesdays are usually our D&D stream. Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays we do League of Legends. We can certainly break this out again on like a Saturday on a variety. But maybe we'll see if there's another Tuesday or another Thursday or Friday that Olives can't make it.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll break into this instead of another league stream, or
Yeah.
maybe one of these times I'll just bite the bullet. We'll start at 10 and we'll just go and
Okay.
and play.
The other thing is that the Monday classes are kind of up in the air because it's kind of it's my math one of my math periods, and
Yeah,
it's kind of if we didn't get to what we needed to get to last week, we're coming in,
got it.
and if we got through everything, we're not. So
So
I'll also keep you updated
yeah,
if there's no class.
definitely keep me posted if we have an opportunity to play on a Monday. That's the best day for me,
Okay.
just because that's the only day that I don't already have something planned other than
Yeah.
prepping for Tuesday nights. But
Okay.
I can certainly do a Monday night.
All right.
All
I
right.
will keep you posted.
Well, thanks again. A lot of fun. Looking forward to Thursday night with some more Air Apocalypse action. And until then, GG everybody. Have a great night.
Yep. See ya.